Hello and welcome to Dice of the Beholder presents the Chronicles of Nidum, our homebrew 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign. Obviously produced and streamed from Heavyweight Gamer. My name's Richard, I'm the Dungeon Master, and welcome again to episode 30, which is insane. The higher the number gets, the crazier it is that people are still watching. But yeah, thank you very much. If you're new here, I will be creating a road so far, kind of 15-minute rundown maybe, that I'm going to show to Adrian, see if he wants to put in front of the stream. But for now, unfortunately, you'll have to catch up on previous episodes on our YouTube channel. Just go to Dice of the Beholder on YouTube, and the previous 29 episodes as of today are up for you to watch. So, last time, after waking from a restful sleep in their new and short-term local employer's house, they were treated to a meagre but hearty breakfast cooked by his wife from the little that the family had to offer. Confused and worried by their friend Clint missing the breakfast he promised to attend, they went off in search of their friend. They instead, though, found Clint's local contacts, Jack and Jill, and they discovered from them that, due to circumstances beyond his control, Clint had gone ahead with his plan earlier than planned. Plan earlier than planned. Terrible. Following the directions of his contact, Jill, as she took them to the woods, you made your way to the shady local lord's lands. And eventually, after succeeding at stealthily getting through the woods and the ruins, thank you. You eventually found Clint about to be sacrificed to a dark, mysterious portal. After freeing him and soundly defeating his elven captors, you escaped into the wilds. However, you're pretty sure, seeing as the head of his elven captors had escaped, that you've probably made a new enemy. And does everyone else want to say hi?
Hi!
I will say as well,
hello.
We have a lot of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm back this week because I missed last week, so sorry about that.
Okay, so yeah, that information, if you're new here, was as new to Charlie or Oriana as it was
I
for the
have
rest
the
of you.
advantage of being married to one of the other players. So.
Yeah, I told Charlie that whole catch up basically, in slightly less time, and her main concern was, wait, you gave someone my money?
I was half asleep in bed and he went, so you lent someone 10 gold. I was like, I did what?
You got it back immediately.
Yeah, I know.
But yes, you are still, having not rested since the fight, you are still now currently running headlong through the countryside with Clint by your side.
Cool.
And also Jill.
And also Jill, who was about as useful in that fight as a chocolate teapot.
Well, that's because the DM forgot she was there.
The DM did absolutely not forget she was there. She is a commoner.
Why was she going on? No, that's something we can discuss later.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
Run away.
Eldritch
Keep
Blast,
running.
So you're going to keep running for now. Where are you running to?
Back into Bristol, I guess.
Yeah, presumably back the way we came to get out of the woods. Actually, on that note, because we made quite a lot of noise getting there, when you said we were successfully stealthy, we definitely weren't. I think the guards were distressingly deaf instead. Mm-hmm. Once we're sort of away a little bit, I would suggest to slow down and try and move a bit stealthier through the woods. Okay.
As you get to a certain point away, Clint appears to be looking around at local landmarks, woods, and the hills. Sorry, are we going back to Briscoe?
Actually, I really don't know where we're going. I think we're just running.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
I was only going to suggest that the closest elven encampment that he could possibly get reinforcements with, having done a dimension door, probably Briscoe, and they would be, if they are going to pursue you on their way.
All right, let's not go there
from
then.
this direction that we're heading.
Direction.
So maybe east?
East.
Sure.
That's fine. That's where we wanted to go eventually anyway, I think. Jill, don't you have to get back to your alcoholic idiot brother?
I wasn't actually going to come with you, but I'll take my leave of now. It was wonderful meeting you all. Clint, lovely to see you again. You should visit more often. And she steps up because she's a good almost foot shorter than Clint and kisses him on the cheek. It's a lingering kiss, and she blushes as she moves away and then runs off into the woods. She seems to be travelling west as opposed to south, straight back to Briscoe.
I'd sidle up next to Clint and sort of lean down and go, you can do better. So much better.
She's all right if it wasn't for her brother.
Yeah, he seems like trouble.
In your line of work, I recommend being with someone that can defend themselves.
Well, yes, but at the same time, it's, nice to be with someone who maybe can't kick the shit out of you.
What's the fun in that?
Yeah, Ace cannot relate.
We're all stood there going,
what?
Okay. Shall we crack on?
Yeah, that sounds good. We're actually hoping to head towards, I think, perhaps Londonium, or at least in that direction to begin with, so.
I think the first thing we need to do is find a place to camp and hide.
I meant...
Yes, I can't keep running for very long. I've only got little legs.
Would you like to ride Cedric?
No.
Can I carry you?
I would pay money to see that.
Okay. Are you allowing Clint to pick you up?
Yes.
Okay, so there's no contested roll.
Is it a piggyback? Is Clint giving you a piggyback ride?
I'm going to Yoda on Clint's back.
Okay.
How you doing, man?
He's gonna give you a piggyback then. Okay. So continues to run. He doesn't actually slow that much, except just being quite light.
Why doesn't Ace carry sepsis? It would be barely noticeable.
What?
And he just continues to run. You can hear him. He is panting slightly more than he was with your previous run. But as you're running into the woods, it does become a lot more grown together, harder to pass through. I want everyone to make a survival check, please, to be able to pass through well. Sepsis, you're all right, because Clint's going to make it through.
I was going to say, instead of doing that, Bri, what I would like to do is cast Reduce upon myself.
Okay.
Because then I will be 1/8 of my weight, and hopefully that will make it easier for Clint.
Rich,
Yeah.
with the survival check, do I need to make one for Cedric, or is he cool? Just by dint of being a dog?
You could need to make one for Cedric as well, because he's a metal low dog.
Dog.
Strength.
Okay.
You make an athletics check for Cedric, because he doesn't care about
I don't know what to add for athletics either.
strength.
Oh, right. Time.
I had a 7, if that, while everyone else is working theirs out.
Mine was 17, Cedric's was 18.
Okay. And Ace?
Oh, yeah. I'm Ace. Very sorry, I was
That's such a slow response.
in a different world. 10.
10 for Ace. Okay.
Correct.
As Clint begins or continues to run, then
Hang on. Can I use Flash of Genius to add to Oriana's score?
Yeah.
Oriana's score.
Okay.
Okay.
So as Clint far outstrips most of you running through this, even with sepsis on his back.
Well, I weigh as much as like a small child now.
Yeah.
Like a very small child.
He turns eventually to watch you, like struggling to catch up.
Can I fly?
You can if you want to.
Yeah, I'll just fly through it.
Okay. So you shrug back your cloak, your wings unfurl from underneath, and like a giant purple bat,
We'll be gone when the morning comes.
You begin to fly between the trees. Okay. Now, as you continue to run, not speaking very much, after about maybe an hour of constant motion, not you, Oriana, because you're still flying through the air, but Dice and Ace, and even Cedric, begin to realize that they're going as much easier. Their feet are finding routes much quicker, and eventually it just seems as if they are walking through or walking down a paved street. It becomes much, much simpler to move. You look forward and you realize that your feet are kind of finding almost every spot that Clint's are. And it seems that whatever Clint is, whatever effect he's having on you, just being in your presence, makes your passage through the forest much easier.
Thanks.
The sun starts to drop eventually, and coming up on about 6 o'clock in the evening, in deep shadow, you feel you're far enough away from the estate to kind of slow down. As Clint up ahead listens, looks, sees nothing untoward, and starts to slow to a casual walk. He allows you to catch up with him. I thought we could all use a bit of a stroll. It's up to you if you'd like to continue on through the night or whatever.
I think it's probably best we set up camp.
Are any of you injured?
A little.
Very well.
I feel about half as healthy as I normally do.
These hills here are quite rocky. We could try and look for a cave, maybe, or do you just want to camp out in the middle of the woods?
If we need to be far away from the elves in Brig Cascal, perhaps what we should do is take a brief rest to get our wits about us, and then carry on for a while.
Carry on through the night.
Yes,
Would it not be better?
I'm going to need more than just a little rest.
And theoretically, I could manage with a little rest, but I'm thinking Oriana was unconscious in the last fight. I suspect she may need to sleep.
No, she wasn't.
Yes. Were you not?
No.
Oh,
She didn't go
not unless somebody
unconscious.
gave me a massive heal.
No, she didn't go unconscious.
Oh, she was hit a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what happened last week. I was just thinking perhaps finding a cave would be convenient, and then we can rest and eat. I know you don't eat much sepsis, but the rest of us do.
Yeah.
Fine.
Let's see if we can spot a cave. If we can't find one conveniently, we'll do the other. We'll take a short rest and we'll go. I don't want to camp in the open.
Okay.
Clint's going to have a look then.
I could fly around and have a look.
Okay. If you want to, yeah. Roll for, if you're flying around, roll me a perception check.
And me?
It'd be an investigation if I'm actively looking.
No, because you're not close to it. So you're literally just flying above, and what you can see, you can see.
14.
14, okay. Survival from dice.
Yeah, that would be rubbish. 10.
Okay. With a 14, Oriana, you do see a couple of good spots. Not so much caves, but kind of little dugout inlets where a tree has ripped up along the ground, and underneath the roots of massive old trees, it now looks like a kind of lean-to, naturally formed. Not so many caves, but it is shaded and sheltered from prying eyes. So yeah, it could work.
Is that okay?
So you fly back and tell everyone?
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds like it'll do.
Yeah, it's not a cave, but it's cover.
Sounds good. You should lead the way. And you easily lead them back to it.
As we're walking, can I turn to Clint and go, so what do you think of Ariana's wings?
A fine new addition. Looking like that, though, you kind of remind me of something. I can't really put my finger on it.
A demon?
I've never actually seen a demon. But,
what normally people depict them as?
Yeah. What are those things they had on temples and churches and?
A gargoyle.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
They're usually carved to be ugly to ward things away.
You should see some of the ones they've got in Londinium and further north. Some of them are not ugly at all. Some of them are, in fact, very.
Don't you ask?
Yes. Good word. I don't know how to continue.
Herbaceous.
Big boobs.
I'm going to start a fire.
Fun.
And trying to extricate himself from the conversation. Clint.
He doesn't actually need to, because Ace's cheeks are glowing red enough to to both warm and light our path.
As Clint's walking away, can I go, worse?
So Clint walks off to start a fire, and it's quick and easy. He makes it look quick and easy, and the fire is roaring and warming you.
Very nice.
Sits down next to it, pulls out some rations, and starts eating them. I did want to say, sorry, I forgot in our haste last time, these past few hours as we were running, thank you.
Yeah, what
Yes,
happened?
you did forget that.
What happened was...
What happened was, right?
You went in overconfident, you got captured. Should have waited for us.
Or asked us for help, of course.
all of the above. I
Whatever, Clint, it's over with now.
was snuck up on, and they hit me from behind, and I woke up chained and about to be sacrificed to a pillar. I was there for quite a while. It seemed like quite a arduous endeavour for him to open the pillar, which was fortunate, because if it had been a quick endeavour, then you would have turned up hours too late. So yes, thank you.
So, any idea what they were trying to accomplish? Did you hear them talking about it?
Well, interspersed with a bit of abyssal that I can't speak.
I have Infernal, but I don't speak Abyssal.
Mostly in Elvish, they told me, well, they didn't tell me, they spoke about quite a few things. It seemed that portal was very important to them. I got that it was important to the war effort. There seemed to be a bargain of some sort with things on the other side of the portal. At one point, this was strange. I've never seen a portal like that before. Okay, but at some point, Another elf came up and gave him some news. I couldn't quite hear it. He was whispering in his ear, and he turned around and struck his subordinate elf across the face, and said something about they had to complete their mission before those southerners opened the other portals.
Can I roll an Arcana check against the portal and see if I can work anything out about it?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. Oh,
That's weird.
that is a very good roll for Arcana. That would be 23.
Okay.
Just the point, Greg will be back in a second. I think our neighbours just knocked the door asking us to drop our car back so they can park.
Oh.
We've had to park in a funny place because somebody parked outside our house.
Okay. Right. With your Arcana check, would you say it was 24?
23.
23, okay. With the 23, you didn't really get up close and personal with the portals. You've heard of portals before, some summoned, some for teleportation, some for scrying. If he's being sacrificed through a portal, if the person he's sacrificing him to, you start to come to the realization that if the person he was being sacrificed to was on this plane, so the portals were for transports over great distances, they'd probably just find the sacrifice in that person's area instead of spending hours trying to open the portal to sacrifice one guy. If, however, the portals were to another plane, which from previous spells that you've learned about, planar travel used to be quite simple and quick. But you also know from the dryads you've met that the other planes are, in recent history, cut off, inaccessible by magics like this. So if a sacrifice was being made to a portal and the spell was taking a couple of hours to complete and was quite an arduous endeavour, that portal is very probably to a different plane.
But are you telling us this?
Yeah, I'll relay it all.
But aren't the other planes shut off?
Well, it really depends. So we know that from previous experience that the elves are using. They seem to have made a deal for their magic. The creature they would make a deal with is theoretically not in this plane of existence. We've discussed this previously. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze.
So do we think that what the part of the deal is sacrifice?
Potentially. It wouldn't be surprising.
Oh.
They would seem to have a rather large resource to draw on in that regard, and
also,
people that no one would miss if they went missing, I suppose.
Also, Sepsis, as we were entering the woods, you said you sensed necrotic marriage. Necrotic marriage. Ew.
Necrotic energy coming from the direction of that portal.
Was there necrotic energy from the portal?
Was the necrotic energy from the portal?
It seemed to be the center point of what you felt, yes.
It seemed to be the center point of what I felt, yes.
See, that's interesting. That's what usually...
Whoever they've made this deal with is dealing with necrotic magic.
You hear Worm's voice in your head.
Yep.
The portals are not... the planes are not completely cut off. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. They're just much harder to get to. There are cracks and ways.
I don't acknowledge that.
Okay.
I do say to everyone as well, also, Clint mentioned that the wizard creepy guy was speaking in Abyssal. So that implies some hellish aspect, huh?
You remember any of what he said?
Not really. It's much more of a... I mean, obviously I was born and bred in Cumbria, so we have quite a guttural local dialect, but Abyssal was even worse, and I can't really describe the sounds in a way that would actually translate. Sorry. I mean, if we'd had more time, I would have searched his house. But
no repeated phrases or anything that sticks out to you at all?
Just a lot of guttural whispering, like growls and shrieks.
Yeah, that sounds like abyssal.
I want to go back and find more information. I know it's not safe and I wouldn't do it, but...
Clint, can I try something?
I suppose.
It's best to tell them what the thing is before asking them if you can do it.
That's not usually how I operate.
Will it hurt?
Not if you don't resist it.
Okay.
It's what I would like to do. I have a spell that I learned recently. I'm
still here.
Sort of listen to your thoughts. If you were able to focus on the memory of that, ritual, perhaps I might be able to pick up something that you caught subconsciously.
Yes. Okay. I'll try my hardest.
Okay, so I'll cast Detect Thoughts then.
Okay.
And I will.
For the benefit of people watching who don't play as often as we do, can you please describe Detect Thoughts?
It's such a long spell. For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. When you cast the spell and as your action on each turn until the spell ends, you can focus your mind on any one creature that you can see within 30 feet. If the creature you choose has an intelligence of 3 or lower, it doesn't speak any language, the creature is unaffected. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind in that moment. This is the important bit. As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper into the same creature's mind. If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, its emotional state, something that looms large in its mind. So this is like slightly outside of the standard usage of the spell.
Okay. Questions verbally directed at the target creature naturally shape the course of its thoughts.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm going to cast. I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts. I'm going to focus on Clint and try and delve deeper. I presume he will sort of willingly fail the saving throw.
Well, first of all, the surface thoughts that you immediately get, even though you may not care about them, the surface thoughts that you immediately get are apprehension, worry. There is a rigidity to his thoughts. It is difficult to push through, but you do so quite quickly. It's as if a gate has been opened, but you can almost see a door unlocking and the gate shift to let you deeper into his thoughts, as if he is willingly unlocking some training he has had, and you are led in. You can see a myriad of memories. Even as he's trying to focus, he can see Jane. He sees Jill. He sees Oriana being struck many times. He sees your Eldritch Blast appear from behind the wall and strike his captor. You can see the portal. But these are rushing, flashing memories as you're trying to focus on one thing.
Okay. So I say to him, Clint, focus on the ritual, focus on what you could hear.
Okay. Slowly, almost as if you were watching time pass slowly backwards. You can see Oriana Ace disappear. You can see
it's gravy time.
Things struck by your spells start to reform. You can see jerky, jointed motions of the man standing in front of the portal, as if he is not moving in the correct way. And then you realize that his movements are being remembered backwards, as if Clint is rewinding the entire scene in his head. And then it gets back to a point where the portal starts to glow. The glyphs on the stones on either side of it start to pulse with energy. The fire starts to rage and flare in the kind of rhythm of a very, very slow heartbeat. symbols around the portal glow, and a dark energy swirls in the middle. Clint remembers feeling cold. He remembers feeling like his life is being sucked towards the portal, like he's desperate to hold on. And through that, you can hear a quiet voice. The ritual is not one to be shouted or chanted in a loud booming tones. It is a whisper. And in the middle of all of the Elvish, some abyssal is spoken. However, roll me a perception check.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was coming.
With advantage, because you are guiding the spell.
Wait, Sepsis is voluntarily rolling a perception check.
Yeah.
Well, this is something that I'm consciously looking for. 15.
15, okay. You realize then something that Clint does not as you're staring. There's no absolute proof, because you can't force Clint's memory around the front of the figure to see from the other angle. But as you're watching the elf's cheekbones and its jaw clench and unclench as it speaks Elvish, it is completely still as you hear the abyssal. The elf is not the one speaking.
Okay.
The voice is coming from the portal.
And can I understand any of the abyssal that comes from it? I mean, I do speak abyssal.
You speak abyssal.
Yeah.
As the abyssal starts to become louder as you focus on it, you do hear, "This is good news, young one.
Padua.
Your experiments please me. Your rush to the end of all life pleases us all."
Okay.
The elf responds in some smattering of Elvish. "This, young one, is vital, but it is hard to keep the connection open from this side. You must open from yours. There are more to come that will look for him. If you are ready, you can use their life to open the portal and send the survivors through. Once you do, I will give you more of my secrets. Many, many more." The abyssal stops. The elf continues to chant. The pulsing symbols on the portal change color. You can no longer hear an abyssal voice, and it seems now that the sucking energy that he is feeling is stronger. Like, whereas the portal was pulling at him slightly before, it is now sucking him towards it. And that feeling is building, as if the direction of the portal has been changed. And you feel, even though you can't speak Elvish, that the spell he is now chanting or whispering at the stones is changing the direction of the portal.
Okay. And when you say changing the direction, do you mean like reversing it or changing it to a different location?
Reversing it, so things can now enter from this side.
Right. And I presume that I'm probably insightful enough to realize that the more that are coming was us, I would guess.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, well, that's creepy.
You see him warn the other guards to be on lookout and alert for you. He didn't know they were going to roll like a 1 on their perception, but you know, he asked them to be alert. So And it starts to go cloudy from there as that moment becomes interspersed again with moments of you appearing. And the last thing that he shows you, or that his memories show you, is the elf turning. And it was hard to see last time, but it's interspersed with his previous memories before the elf put the hood up. The elf is bald, grey skin, not a colouring, but emaciated, ill, close to death, but vitally strong in his eyes and his movements.
This brings something dark side.
And he does stare straight at you, Sepsis. And you remember his words. I will remember you.
Right.
And that's the end of Clint's memory.
So when you say he stares at me, I presume you mean he stares at Clint.
No, he stares at Clint. He stares at you in the actual memory of when you were fighting.
Ooh.
The last thing he said before he dimension doored was, I will remember you.
Right.
I remember that happening.
Yes, I do remember that.
Charlie's become an even elf. Even? An even elf.
Even elf. Yeah, an even elf. I'm even.
Not everyone got as close of a look at this elf as I did they? Because they,
Nope.
well, I don't know if Ace and Dice saw them at all.
Dice did not see them at all. Ace caught a glimpse. Oriana, from a distance, caught a glimpse.
Yeah, because Oriana spammed some attacks at him.
You were within 30 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was trying to rescue Ori.
Okay.
How much do you tell us?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Clint kind of... Are you dropping the spell?
Yes.
Okay. Clint kind of shakes his head. He looks a bit exhausted, to be fair. Strange to relive that experience for a second time.
Useful skill, huh?
I don't think I'm going to sleep that easy tonight. Thank you, Sepsis. But yeah.
Well, but I did get some information out of it.
I'm glad.
The elvish gentleman who captured you was not opening the portal to bring something through, but to contact something on the other side. He was receiving information from presumably from the abyssal plane. The abyssal language wasn't coming from him; it was coming from within the portal.
What was it?
What was it saying? It was saying it was pleased by his experiments. It was saying that their rush towards the end of all life pleases us all, whoever that might be.
Wow.
It was requesting that the magical gentleman feed us to the portal, so that he could open it up from this side and go through to receive more secrets.
So sorry, when you say the end of life, you mean literally the end of... I suppose you wouldn't know.
I wasn't really able to interrogate it.
No, thank you, Sepsis, though. That's been incredibly handy.
And creepy.
Yeah, and creepy.
Yes, I'm glad that my phenomenal eldritch power could be handy.
It certainly was. Clint, if you are concerned about sleeping, I'd be happy to knock you out.
No. I'm good. Thank you.
If you have real trouble, you can always come cuddle with Dice and I.
I would say that's not an offer she makes to everybody, but actually, roughly everybody.
I mean,
I'm sure that would also probably not help.
oh, okay.
It would be fun, though, huh?
I'm
You know, me and Ori, we cuddle most nights. He'd be very welcome to join us.
It's comforting.
going to go and find us some breakfast. I will be close by if he needs me. And he gets up and grasps his bow and stalks off into the woods.
Is it me, or did he like keep his back to us while he was sort of circling around the campfire?
He did seem to, didn't he? Weird.
Strange.
Yeah. He moves in a strange way.
I'm a little concerned.
Oh.
That or he was trying to hide his magical gentleman.
Oh no. I'm a little concerned that the being the elves are drawing their power from is seeking to destroy everything. And
All life.
all life. That's
I don't like that so much because I'm part of all life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel quite strongly that that's not something I want to happen. You said there was another portal in the south, Clint? Somebody said that.
I think it was Clint, and he's gone.
Still, we're heading in that direction. It should be something we're aware of, at least, right? Also, hey, avoided getting eaten by a portal. We did well today.
Yes.
Yes. Look, I'm going to go to sleep for a bit, okay?
I'll join you.
Yay, cuddles. I'm going to
I'm-
go to sleep. Oh, God.
I'm going to stay up for a little while. I'll take the first watch.
Are you all right?
Ace reminds you that you don't really need to take a watch, as long as you stay within 30 feet of her. As long as you stay within 30 feet of them, their sword will rouse all of you if you're in danger.
That's very nice, Ace. I'm going to take the first watch.
Okay. And Ace goes to sleep, not with, but close to Ori and Dice.
Yeah, I shuffle us over until we're spooning Ace once they're asleep.
It's Dice spooning Ace, and then Oriana spooning Dice.
It's
Like
spoon.
wings and all.
To see if Ace wakes up. I'm happy for them to perceive.
So you guys all going to sleep?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to move away from the. Go on.
I was just going to say, as I'm dropping off, though, I would like to keep an eye on where Seps are going. I'm not going to follow them or anything, but I just want to keep an eye on them while they're within sight as I'm drifting off to sleep. Because I'm a bit...
Okay. This isn't a response to that. I was going to say this anyway. I'm going to go about 60 feet into the brush, away from the campfire. I am going to convert my last spell slot into sorcery points, and then I'm going to immediately use those sorcery points to cast darkness centered on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to call Worm to me with this journal.
Okay.
Two things. If I see Sepsis starting to sneak off, I assume I do see that. Do I see that happen?
Sepsis, were you being stealthy?
Not particularly. I thought they were asleep.
Okay.
You can have me roll deception to see if you noticed I wasn't asleep before you left.
My insight's not that high. I wasn't really paying attention.
Okay. Then yeah, you'd probably see them wander off.
Yeah, I'm going to attempt to follow them. I know I'll eventually run into the
You
dark.
are in the middle of being spooned.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to try and get up and try and follow them.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, I might hear that.
I'll happily try and stealth it.
Okay, roll a stealth, please.
If I'm not rolling a
Disadvantage
stealth,
since
you've
they're
got
in
to
the
get out
middle
of my spooning first.
Why don't you roll a strength check to escape Oriana?
Actually, yeah, let's do...
I'm hugging a bitch.
You could just give a disadvantage on the... Okay.
So I'd like an athletics check for the both of you, please.
Oh, no.
Ace is assisting, so advantage to Oriana on that.
Advantage to Oriana, awesome.
Wouldn't be advantage to Oriana.
Yeah, that's what assisting does.
Ace isn't assisting. Ace is in my arms.
Ace is assisting by
the
sort of,
other side of the spoon.
yeah, by shuffling back into you.
So, Dice, what did you get?
Contested spoon check, 11.
Oriana?
19.
You cannot get up Oriana's arms, unfortunately.
I've got arm, wing, and a tail wrapped around you. You ain't going nowhere.
Oriana starts singing, I don't want to close my eyes.
Anytime you try to move, you just hear, no.
You
No.
start to struggle out of Oriana's arms and find yourself wrapped in two wings and her arms and her legs, and the tail comes around and entwines your leg as well, and you are caught in like a vice grip. You cannot move.
Fine.
This is what it's like when Charlie cuddles you. That's pretty much exactly right.
If I'm going to cuddle, I'm going to put my all into it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm enjoying the cuddle, so I'm not really offended. And I wasn't that keen on wandering around in the woods at night, so I suspect that would be more than enough to break my will on this. And just
You could send Cedric after me.
Yeah, I could, but Cedric can't exactly relay any information. It would be just to keep you safe, and you might end up killing him, and I don't want my dog to die.
Sepsis.
No comment.
What do you do in your darkness?
So I get Worm to bring me the book, the journal.
Okay.
And I'm gonna sit and leaf through it for a bit.
Okay.
See what I can find out.
It is, however, magical darkness.
Yes, but so I have a feature where if I cast darkness using my sorcery points, I can see through it.
Cool. No worries. That's fine.
So can Worm, obviously, because he's an imp.
Can you speak Elvish?
No.
Okay.
But I've got the Nidum thing.
You do have the Nidum thing, so please roll me an intelligence check.
Yeah, okay. I'm moderately okay in intelligence.
And you fail as badly as my strength.
Oh my god, it's 5. It's a 5. If I take more time over it, can I, do I get to roll again or anything? Because I'll take all the time it takes, if you get me.
Well, with your first check, you do start to leaf through, engrossed to the point where you almost miss Clint coming back through the woods, but seeing no difference now that the sun has properly dropped in your darkness to any other darkness, he passes it by, ignoring it completely, and makes his way back to camp. It takes you a good hour, solid reading, but unfortunately you get as much as obvious words that are derived into common from what may be Elvish, such as portal or gate. Unfortunately, you don't get much more than that.
Okay.
You can get the obvious, it is, a, an.
And if I spend some more time on it, can I, do I get to keep trying?
You can spend some more time on it, but depending on what your rolls are and how many attempts you make, you may be pushing a point of exhaustion if you don't get a long rest.
Or you could give it to the team member that can speak and read Elven.
Is that a pigeon? There were pigeons in these woods. That one's a 6.
Dude.
You also get is.
Oh wow, yeah.
And you get
I just heard Charlie laugh from the other room.
you get death as well.
Are there any? Can I look for pictures? Are there any diagrams?
There are many diagrams. These are not in Elvish.
Yeah.
If you want to try and
No, they're pictures.
if you want to try and make your way through these, roll me an Arcana check, please.
Yes, thank you, bitch. I will do. That is an 18.
Okay. This does take you into very late night, early hours of the morning.
Mm-hmm.
However, focusing instead of the Elvish, which you're assuming is just a journal, not so much an instruction manual, you are proved right when you then effectively get to the pictures and realize that most of the instructions are in the pictures, and it's mainly, you got confused earlier by the very stylized way that the elf seems to write, but after ignoring the language completely, you now realize that the pictures, the annotations around them are in Draconic, which I believe you can speak.
Indeed, I can.
Cool. And as you start mentally kind of making notes of what order these pictures should be in, where the studies led them, you realize that this portal is much more powerful than you originally thought. This is a planar doorway, not just to one plane, but to many different planes. It seems to be an anchor point on the material plane that you currently reside on to whatever other plane you could possibly wish to go through. You expect from some of these pictures that in ancient times, when people didn't have the ability to learn planar travel but still had to, they could come here and potentially very easily get through. However, you can see a lot of instructions have been kind of scribbled out, crossed over, as more and more of them seem to fail to open the portal quickly. Most of the addresses, and you do know that these are addresses that can be kind of spoken to the portal to get different configurations of the symbols to light up. Most of the addresses have actually been scribbled out or ink blotted to the point where they are unintelligible. You get maybe a symbol or two. One of them has been struck through, but you can see below it, copied in much larger Draconic, copied in much larger imagery, is the same address. And this is not Elvish, this is not Flourish, this is hard and fast, but it's meant to be bold. This is the address that was being dialed. You get the idea that the address is to the Shadowfell.
Okay. Fantastic. So, Shadowfell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to take out a knife and try to, as carefully as possible, remove all of the pages with these diagrams on.
Okay. It's simple enough to do. You had to do the same for your old master, where he wanted to chuck most of the books away as he thought that the knowledge was trite and terrible, apart from maybe one or two bursts of inspiration from lesser minds than his. And you're used to doing this, and you remove easily the instruction pictures.
And I'm going to attempt to contact my benefactor.
Okay.
I'll ask Worm first of all. Worm, do you have any idea how I can get in touch with the individual who sent you to me?
Sleep. It's worked before.
Yes, that seems to be more of an incoming line. I'll try it.
If you wish me away, I could perhaps let them, it know.
I'd have to resummon you.
No, the whole...
Just the snap. Okay.
That's where I go.
Very well. You've done well tonight, Worm.
Thank you, Master.
I snap my fingers.
Okay. You feel the presence of worm leave your shoulder.
I will hide the pages that I've removed about
Okay.
my person
In your voluminous folds.
in my voluminous folds, and I'll head back and get as much rest as I can.
Excellent. Okay. So, you all then wake to a bright, somewhat wet dawn.
I didn't hear from my master in my sleep then.
You did not this time anyway.
Right. I guess I sleep in as much as I can.
Okay. So, Oriana, Dice, Ace, and Clint all wake to a somewhat wet dawn. The ground is dew-covered. The air is humid. It feels like it's going to rain, even if it hasn't yet. And the sky above is grey and dark. But it is daylight.
Okay. When I wake up, I'm going to turn around to Oriana and go, you know, when you sleep, you're kind of like a gecko. You know, they have those sticky feet. You sort of...
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to escape briefly last night, and there was no going anywhere.
Did you try waking me up first?
No.
That tends to help if you wake me up.
I didn't want to disturb you. You looked comfy. You were snoring
Right.
in
I do snore.
Can I see Sepsis?
Yeah, you can see Sepsis. He's laying there still. Their pile of robe is there,
Under
going
a bush.
going up and down slowly with each breath they take.
Okay.
Every breath you take.
So voluminous folds under a bush.
Mm-hmm.
Clint, did you find anything for breakfast?
Yes, a couple of rabbits. I didn't fancy badger, but there was one of them. But he kind of shrugged off the arrow. I'll be honest. I didn't fancy going after him for round 2. So
Don't pick a fight with a badger, Clint.
no, I'm coming to learn that. But no, so
You actually shot Honey.
well, no, because Honey's there.
He's with me.
No, but nobody wants to eat badger. It doesn't taste great.
Okay, good to know. Didn't know that.
Very tough meat.
I'll cook rabbit.
You are all very woodsy, aren't you? Okay, so
Literally grew up in a woods, Clint.
Yeah, right.
I have a pet badger.
Sorry,
However, in
Why
terms
is
of...
it so difficult to speak around you? I'm gonna cook some rabbit.
Oh no, that's your fault, not mine.
And he stokes up the fire and starts cooking the rabbit over the fire.
I'm gonna go do something I haven't done in a while. I'm gonna go read my tarot cards.
I look at Ace and go, it's nice to see that Clint can catch rabbits. Fucking rabbits.
This is in reference to some terrible rolls from Dice in a previous episode in which he found it almost impossible to actually catch food.
They rolled so bad the rabbits laughed at them.
The rabbits did actually
if she rolled any worse, the rabbit may have actually taken her down.
Yeah.
I mean, it really wasn't that bad.
And it would have been the quest to recover Dice from the rabbits.
I'm up for that quest. Sounds fun. Go on.
Okay, so do you all just leave Sepsis to it?
We're aware that Sepsis was going to do a watch, so we're going to let them sleep in.
Okay.
I've got no issue with that.
Okay.
The cards are not good.
Okay. Tell me what the cards are.
So we have Wheel of Fortune that was reversed, which is bad luck.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Judgment also reversed, which is self-doubt and ignoring a call. And then we had the Devil, which is a darker self and negative habits. And that is a read for Oriana.
Oh dear.
As you look at the cards then, Ori, you feel the energies, they are familiar to you It was the same feeling when you first fledged your wings. It was also the same thing you felt when you dreamt of flying towards that giant flaming portal, the door that seemed to be barred from you. The cards, you try and mistake, maybe it's a trick of your imagination, but the cards even smell like sapphire and brimstone. Just for a moment before the morning breeze kind of whips the smell away. You are worried because the cards do show you it's maybe a near future kind of thing. What's that one?
That's the Wheel of Fortune.
Mm-hmm. The luck itself is potentially not ill. Perhaps it feels like a confusing plan, luck you would not want. But your reading leaves you apprehensive and worried for what is to come. Oh, by the way, Dungeon Master trick for anyone watching who wants to run their own game, get one of your players, or have one of your players read tarot and then just use it to create story.
Yeah.
Best story generator ever.
It gets creepy. It's better when you're in the room with people because then you can do readings for other characters and they get creepy.
It's good. But yeah, so that is the reading you've done for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I take it you rejoin the group.
Yeah, I shuffle my cards away and just go sit quietly with the group.
Okay. I forgot to ask last night before I went to sleep. What have you been up to since I last saw you?
We helped an old man. Oh wait, you were there for that.
Yes, I mean,
So,
getting
Marcus.
to Albion.
Oh, right, the longer what have we been doing? Well, you saw us, we'd come through the tunnel.
Before
Yes.
then, we were in a different plane with Marcus.
Yep.
I was wondering about the wings.
How did you know that had something to do with the wings?
Because you disappeared and then I saw you a couple of days later and you had them and you have been in a different plane with Marcus in between then. I just put two together.
That's fair, yeah. When we left that plane, ping, wings.
I thought plane of travel was hard.
Not how Benedict Cumberbatch pronounces penguin.
Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah, penguin.
It wasn't so much a different plane. I mean, it was a different plane, but it was more of a pocket dimension type thing.
Yeah.
Another dimension, another dimension.
Either way, it was weird, and I'm pretty sure Odin was there.
Yeah, that was different and kind of a surprise.
Hang on.
And also not the first time we've seen him.
The god Odin.
Yeah, Thor's dad.
Ace nods enthusiastically.
Aren't they gone? The gods?
Yeah. Some of them, I think, maybe. I
It
think
appears the rumours of their demise were greatly exaggerated.
Less gone, more living on our plane in secret.
And they're not helping because...
No one believes in them anymore.
they don't really have any power, I don't think.
Yeah.
It seems like it's Terry Pratchett rules in this universe.
It's a bit like, have you ever heard that tale that if you say you don't believe in fairies, then the fairies die, but then if you clap your hands and say you do believe in fairies, then they come back?
Yeah, don't ever say that. They're not impressed about it.
No, but
I'm just
They
comparing
will.
it to that logic.
I know, but don't ever say that seriously or in jest ever again, because they could just we'll stop talking about them.
we grew up in the woods, Clint. I don't think we ever had a problem.
You grew up in a protected space. You are out of the protected space now. Stop talking about the little folk.
Well, isn't that?
Any looks warily around. They steal children and your life. So
Oh, hang on a minute. Is this one of those things that's like a really exaggerated urban legend? Or is
They
this...
don't step in a fairy circle and all that.
Oh God! Don't step in a fairy circle. Just stay away. Just stay away from them all forever.
Where did you hear this?
I've seen it.
Hey, look,
There was a kid who used to hang out with us who didn't believe in fairies, and he just kept going on and on and on and on about it. And one day they just turned up and beat the shit out of him.
Did you see them? Did you actually see them do it?
Lots of zipping around bright lights, kicked the shit out of him, and then dragged him into a fairy circle and he disappeared.
To be fair, now that's
Yeah.
interesting because I believe, am I aware of the Feywild, Rich? Would I know that the Feywild exists?
You
I'm sure
know
we've
of-
talked about. I'm
You
sure
know
we've
of
talked
the
about
Fey
the-
folk, and you know that the Feywild is where elves are originally fabled to come from, as are other Fey creatures. So yeah, you
We've
know
definitely talked about the fact that the elves don't have as strong a connection to the Feywild as
Yes.
they used to.
Isn't
Like
that
that's-
Oh, if only the little folk would turn up and drag the elves back.
I wonder if when the gates closed, a lot of the things that were supposed to be the other side of the portals ended up here. And that could go for
Maybe there are fairies here.
the Fae in general, yeah. That's what
Why do you think no one goes to Avalon?
Why does no one go to Avalon? We haven't heard a great deal about it.
Other than there's nothing west of Avalon.
There's nothing west of Avalon, and he repeats it verbatim. Avalon is the kingdom of the Fae on this plane.
Oh,
How has this never come up until now?
I want to go. Like, I want to go now.
You can't. You can't. You're immortal. You cannot travel to Avalon.
Why?
Just Oberon has decreed that no one can travel to.
So,
Oberon is the closest thing this realm has to a god, and he has decreed that no mortal sets foot on Avalon.
Ace raises their hand at that moment and says, "Odin's a god, and Thor."
Yeah, and
In
they're
this
on this
realm.
plane.
Yeah, I suppose. But Odin's kind of looking. As you mentioned, Odin, you see a flash of skepticism in Clint's eyes as he's like, "Yeah, okay, Odin."
Look, coming from
does
the
Ace
dude-
catch that?
Roll an insight check, Race.
I will.
I also would like to insight check that, please.
Insight.
Wow. 13.
It's a 5.
20.
Nice.
Oh yeah, you know, everyone apart from Ace knows that Clint does not believe that you've met Odin.
So,
I think that plays into Ace's like innocence and.
So let me get this straight, Clint. You're going to go on about Oberon, or whatever his name is, being a god on this plane, but the second we mention that we know for a fact of another god, you're going to act like the skeptic.
And we've lied so often.
I haven't seen Odin.
I haven't seen Oberon, but I believe you.
I haven't seen a fairy.
Until yesterday, no one had tried to sacrifice you to an abyssal being.
True.
Until a couple of days ago, I'd never seen a human body come back with extra limbs.
Yeah.
Or a tiefling with wings.
Or a purple tiefling. Actually, that's all I'd seen, ever. Yeah.
Look, every year at Samhain, they come, we stay inside, they knock on the door, we leave treats outside, and they leave us alone. The houses that forget, or the houses that cannot afford the treats left for the fair folk, are not left alone and are empty the next morning.
Whoa,
Milk,
whoa.
honey, and cake.
Hang on.
I do remember something about this.
Are you telling me there's some sort of Fae purge each year? And,
Purge.
like, the Fae show up and, what, steal babies and eat cows unless you give them treats?
Yes.
And you'll believe all of this, and this is true to you, and we're actively believing you here, but you won't believe that we've seen a god.
Well,
Think about levels of insanity here, Clint, because you're pushing the bounds of my believability here.
Odin, from what I can remember, is the All-Father. He is the
Of his pantheon.
Yes, but All-Father isn't very exclusive. He is the All-Father.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because someone doesn't believe in him doesn't mean he stops being their father. So, why isn't he helping? If the gods are still on this plane, why aren't they helping?
To be fair, he's pretty good on, what is it, Wednesdays, Ace?
Wednesday.
That's his day.
He's not bad on Wednesdays, but he's terrible on Tuesdays. Really, no use to anyone.
But
Or Thursday.
did Ace get the sense that Odin's not quite as powerful as he might otherwise be?
Absolutely. When they were in Odin's presence.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think they would
sense that.
I think they would respond then and say there seems to be something making the gods less powerful.
Diminishing their powers, yeah, definitely.
Than they otherwise would be.
Probably being cut off from their original fields.
Odin tells me that Thor is also on this plane. I'm sure that if Thor were at his full power, he would not stand for the way that humans are treated.
Also, it seems to depend on where you are on this plane as to who can contact you. I couldn't be contacted back in Cumbria, but now that I'm here, apparently my god can contact me.
Cumbria is a protected land.
Well,
It's something Marcus did.
well, it's also cut off a bunch of gods.
That being said, we did meet Odin for the first time in Cumbria. The first time, before.
Yes, he was also in the house with Marcus. I think they're friends.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
I don't think my god is going to be that friendly. Not with him, anyway.
So travel to a different plane. You saw Marcus, who himself is talked of as more of a myth than man.
He definitely exists.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he makes, mistakes like a man.
Okay. Met a god.
Yep.
Mhm.
Now you have wings.
Ravens.
Oh, and vampires.
Yeah, and a werewolf.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not the first time we've met a werewolf.
No, werewolves I get. Vampires?
Yeah,
No.
yeah. There's some sort of deal that they won't attack certain people so long as
Have
we
a whole
uphold.
country.
I can't remember the whole thing. They have a country, yeah.
Somewhere to the
In
east.
fact, we met a vampire in Cardid.
Vampires can't leave Rom.
Yes, that's
We
But
literally met one in Cardid.
apparently they can to come to Marcus's house.
Or to the market.
There was a vampire in the market.
Was there?
Yes,
Mhm.
I
I'll
did.
tell you, the guy I bought the wine from.
I can't remember seeing I'm sure he was alive. Very well.
In a blackout tent.
I will bow to your superior perception.
Travels. Stick around, Clint. You might see something.
As interesting as this is, can we walk and talk?
Oh, yeah.
Probably a good plan.
So are you sticking with us, Clint?
I can stick with you for now. I have business in a town further on. But yes, I can stick with you for now. I've got business. You traveling east?
Yes.
Yep.
The town is east of here.
Convenient.
It's one of the oldest towns in the land of Albion.
Is it Swindon?
No, it's the town of Bathe.
Dave.
The men of stone left a great monument here to their decadence, and people come from all around to use the facilities.
Yeah, there's a
there.
great safari park just outside of it.
I don't
Property
know.
prices are mental though.
Really hilly as well. Nightmare. Stupid toll road.
No parking.
No parking, and just full of these hipster taverns.
Hey, Clint, as we're walking along,
I love my wife.
Oh, I love you too.
can I turn around to Clint and go, and, of course, we should tell you about the time that we ended up accidentally clocking into a tavern for hunters. An inn.
Oh, for bounty hunters, yeah, that was interesting.
And made friends with a very large group of Dragonborn that I think was trying to hunt for something called Tiamat or something. Yeah.
They were trying to find they were trying to find a dragon to sacrifice.
Oh yeah, speaking about that, Bri, if you make, I meant to say this at the time, if you make a party of Dragonborn again and you don't call them Dragonborn Z, I just don't know who you are.
I don't even know what to do with you anymore.
Yeah, I can't work under these conditions.
They were a sporting team.
I'll be in my trailer.
They were a frat house.
Yeah,
They were
They
a
were
bunch
great.
of frat boys.
they were absolutely great. I got to throw a halfling.
Yeah, that
I
was
think I invented a new sport.
halfling toss. Oh no, tossing halflings is something else entirely. I don't
Yeah,
know.
let's know.
Should we make a move then?
Yeah, I thought we started.
I thought we already were.
Oh no, you're still around the campfire.
No, we
None
said
of you-
talk and talk.
None of you have woken sepsis up yet.
Oh, I go and poke. Sepsis.
Bri, why did you tell them that? I was fully waiting for everyone to just leave sepsis.
You know, there's no way Ace would do that.
With all that time chatting around the fire, Bri, do I get a full rest or am I taking a point of exhaustion?
No, because that was an in-time chat. That was about half an hour.
I don't. Well, so do I get a full rest or no?
Nope.
Okay.
So I would like you to take a point of exhaustion as
Yeah.
Dice goes to kick you awake.
Do I get my slots and everything back and just take a point of exhaustion, or do I just take a short rest?
It's as if you've taken a short rest.
Okay.
I don't kick. I poke with my toe.
In fact, how many not warlock, but how many spell slots were you doing?
2 second level ones, and obviously I'm out all my sorcery points.
Okay. You can, with the rest that you've had, you can have half your sorcery points back
Thank you.
and 1 second level back.
Would you like me to round that up or down because I have 3 sorcery points?
You can round it up. You can have 2.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're a very generous boy.
So you can have 1 second level back and 2 sorcery points out of the 3.
Thank you very much.
But you still take a point of exhaustion.
Yep. I've taken it.
Okay, so sepsis. You have been gently shook awake by Dice. Sorry, not kicked.
Time to go,
What?
Sepsis.
Gotta make a move.
Why?
Well, we can't stay here forever. We could get caught.
And we were being followed, potentially. Death.
We're gonna carry on east to a town called Bathe.
I'm very tired and I don't want to get up.
You want to piggyback from Ace?
No. Yes.
Yeah. I get Ace to come over.
Yeah. Do you want Ace to carry you?
Yes.
Okay, come on, Sleepy.
I piggyback on Ace's back.
You go back to sleep when you're up there.
I doubt I'll manage it.
You totally could. You totally could.
Yeah, I
Ariana, you're talking very loudly. Creature found this. I think you might be able to read it. I hand Ariana the journal.
Oh, okay. I'd
What?
start flicking through it.
Hey,
I will read and walk.
Sorry, Dice, what you say?
why didn't you tell us yesterday?
You went to sleep. It
No.
was dark. I didn't think you'd be able to read it.
Yeah, but you didn't say. We talked about everything after we got back, and we were doing all the prying into Clint's head. It's not like we immediately went to sleep. I'm just surprised you didn't
took-
take this sound.
Took Creature quite a while of searching around the mansion to find it.
At this point, I've walked on ahead reading.
Okay. So as you make your way east then, Oriana, You learn quickly from this journal that it is a diary of sorts. There are dates, all in Elvish. It starts about 6 months ago. You can tell from your general idea of what day it is in the calendar. And it talks very much of the purchase and the dig around this site, the taking over of the land, the moving along of people, some by force, some forced into servitude to clear out the ruins of the castle. It seems that the portal was not immediately apparent and was buried under quite a lot of rubble. Later on, you discover that this rubble was placed there. It was not haphazardly fallen about. It was this portal was purposely buried. And you learn a little about the writers, who never gives his name, does not sign anything. But you learn that as the portal was more and more uncovered, he felt his own power growing. You learn a little bit about his ideas of possibly usurping the throne if he becomes any more powerful, as he feels he now rivals the emperor of the actual emperor himself. But that is just an idea thrown in, kind of put on the back burner in a footnote. Mainly, though, you can feel you start to learn details about different experiments, about how the secrets given, and these secrets are not detailed, and you see that there are large chunks of information missing, as if the writer of this journal must have written them down and then seemingly cut them out. There are a lot of parts of pages missing. And you do learn that a lot of maybe diagrams or images referenced in the journal are no longer there. In the broken, because obviously some of the writing goes onto the other page, so half of the writing is missing. In the broken form that you're now reading this, you learn that one of the secrets, you don't know which, was the secret of reanimating parts of bodies, joining them together, so that they were a terrific beast of slaughter, easily controlled by those who would create them. A process that can be taught to even the lowliest practitioner of the particular magic that they, as a race, had been gifted. You learn about the potential to put a soul inside a machine, to give that machine life and purpose, easily controlled again, because the personality of the soul could be stripped due to another secret that the elf who wrote this journal has been taught. But again, no actual details of what that secret was. It seems that this journal is more about thoughts and feelings, and another journal is eventually referenced that you believe probably had much more technical or actual spells in it. You do remember looking at the man or the elf that was trying to open the portal. He was holding a book.
Damn.
How much of this are you saying out loud?
None of it.
Really?
Oh, you're all such a secretive group.
I'm
I'm
surprised.
joking. I'm joking. No, as I'm translating, like any in lines that seem to be important, I say them.
You learn towards the end of the journal. It's only half full, but you learn towards the end of the journal that the writer is waiting on a grand secret, a great experiment that is linked to earlier experiments on disease, mass killings, decimation of almost entire towns, possibly even countries. And you learn that there is a grand secret that has been promised, but you're just on the cusp of learning it, and you don't know when it will be given. And that is where the journal ends.
Clint, are you going back to Father at all?
After my business in Bath is done, I'll be going back to Cumbria.
Okay. I hand him the journal and go, can you make sure he gets this?
Yeah, of course. He can...
Ori, do you say out loud that any of it's missing?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'm just going to say to Sepsis, based on recent not quite telling the truths, Sepsis, is this all the creature found? The
Yes.
creature thing. Yeah, there was nothing else. Only, obviously, there was a delay in telling us about the journal in the first place. I'm not saying anything. I just wondered if this was all that was found.
He didn't find it until after you were already asleep. Dice, I'm confused. There are a lot of rooms in that mansion.
Yeah, I'm going to be rolling an insight check on that one there. I'm also
Sepsis.
Yeah, of course.
super blurry. Okay, that's cocked. Okay.
What'd you get?
19.
21.
Every time. Every goddamn. Seriously, what is wrong with this camera? Okay. It's like I've blurred me, not the background.
Cool. So,
I just sort of not. Okay.
you continue on. Clint mentioning that at this speed, walking, it is maybe going to take you a couple of days to get to Bath. But you wander off into the wilderness. And for that, we will, because it's now 9:03, we're going to take a break.
Yay!
Cool. So we're going to go and get kettle on.
And fix my camera.
To try and fix cameras.
It's a bickies.
Yes, thank you those who are viewing. Thank you those who are with us and following along. Again, I will say for those who've come since the start, I'm very soon going to do a quick, maybe 10-15 minute kind of catch-up video explaining exactly how, or the road so far.
How the world works.
Yeah, how the world works a little bit.
Yeah, well,
so
I
look
might have
forward
to
that.
watch it because I don't. We certainly don't know how the world works.
Please, though, if you are interested, it is well worth visiting our YouTube, which is very recently been put into the chat. Just click on that link or go to YouTube and type in Dice the Beholder. Please remember to subscribe as well. Comment if you want, even if it is just an emoji. So at
You
least
get
then
to see some of our
Yeah.
favourite moments so far.
You do.
Sepsis hasn't actually done a murder since we joined Heavyweight Gaming, so it's
I know.
something that
yeah.
that's something you miss out on unless you go back and
Yeah.
celebrate the back catalogue.
You can look back at the good old days when we were all in a room together.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was nice.
I don't know. I quite like the elbow room I have now.
But yes, we'll be back in about 15 minutes. But yeah, stick around or go tell your friends who aren't doing anything on a Sunday evening or morning, midday, depending on where you are in the world, to jump on and watch the second half.
Wait,
Do
where's
20
Shay?
past.
Probably work.
Yeah,
Catch you in a
probably
bit.
working. Bye.
Bye.
And welcome back to part 2 of episode 30 of Dice of the Beholder, presented by the Chronicles of Nidum, presented by Dice of the Beholder, and produced
In association with
Heavyweight Gaming. God,
Sorry.
it's like those people who
Sponsored by Tesco.
Shut up.
Oh, Greg, no!
No!
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
What's that?
Stop it. Okay, so.
If you want to know what that's a reference to, go to the YouTube channel and watch the other videos and watch us scream at Greg every time he says someone sponsored us.
Yeah.
Not sponsored by anyone.
So, you make your way across the landscape. If there is nothing you would like to do, if there is nothing in particular you would like to do or speak about, I have already done the roles for your days. So is there anything you would like to speak about or do before you continue your journey to base?
Nope. Any chance we get, I'd like to try and meditate and contact whoever it was I saw in my dream.
Okay.
That'll probably be tonight though, won't it? When we get to somewhere for a rest.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Because he said days.
Sepsis is going to be doing their best to sleep while being carried.
The first day of travel then is arduous. It is hard to sleep. There's an hour after you leave camp. The heavens open and rain makes your journey a lot longer than it should be, trudging through muddy fields, through incredibly slick and treacherous forests. You keep mainly away from roads, paths, which again, even with Clint helping your journey, makes it rather difficult for you all. And you don't get as far as Clint would have wished before you bed down for the first evening. You are unassailed by the wildlife. They seem to be hiding themselves in the rain, and the rain does not let up. However, you do manage to find a nice sheltered copse of trees that allows very little water through, and after setting up a tent, it is quite dry.
I'm not going to tell you what I think about all copses.
As you bed down for the evening, lulling yourself into sleep with, again, dice in your arms. Oriana, you...
Just 2 things very, very quickly. 1, put the pencils down. The Fruit Loop. Actually, no, that was it. Carry on. It's just the pencil.
As you nod off to sleep then with dice in your arms, you concentrate. I would like you to make me a wisdom check, please.
Oh, great. I am not wise. 12.
12. Okay. As you are nodding off to sleep then, you do stare, and you find your sight strangely drawn to the bush that Sepsis has found themselves a nest under, or created a nest for themselves under. And you can see just poking out of the voluminous robes. I'm going somewhere with this, don't worry. Just poking out of Sepsis's voluminous robes is the head of his rod. It doesn't get any better. Their rod is the head of their rod.
Well, I tucked that away.
Which holds the crystal that you found way back when in the mines. As you drift off to sleep, the crystal, it may be a trick of your imagination, but almost pulses with light before, unfortunately for you, you drift off into a dreamless sleep. Sepsis.
Yo.
Stop playing with the rod.
When you close your eyes to sleep, you open them in a dusty landscape, grey, dead. And you feel comfortable once more. You can see Worm standing off in the distance, and as he catches your attention, immediately starts beckoning you forward. You're standing on the edge of a dust cloud, a swirling vortex of ash and wind behind him, and he's beckoning you further into it.
I go.
Okay. You feel yourself start to move forwards. You cannot feel the ground beneath your feet. It's as if you are gliding. And as the ash cloud takes you and robs you of your vision, it immediately disappears once more. And before you are once again a huge city, not just the shadows this time, but a huge city, towering buildings made of glass and steel, reflecting the sunlight, almost blinding you. There is almost a rainbow that connects every building as they tower and reach the sky, scraping the clouds above. And you find yourself on a hill staring at this city. All around you, strange contraptions, metal boxes move under their own power. There is no life here. You can see birds wheeling in the distant sky, but there are no animals around you. Even the hill you're on is paved, cultured like a garden. And sitting on what appears to be a bench, bit of a construction you've never seen before, is your patron.
Master.
They are dressed strangely. They are dressed in tight trousers and a coat of a material and cut you have never seen before, wearing a hat, strangely small, serving no purpose, designating them as a wizard. And they seem to be wearing spectacles. The suit itself is black.
Okay.
They fold up a sheaf of papers that has strange, unintelligible writing on it, place it down on the bench next to them, and they pat the empty section of the bench for you.
I would prefer to stand.
Very well, Sepsis. What do you see?
A city, but unlike any I have seen.
What do you feel?
Confused.
Roll a Arcana check with advantage, please, Sepsis.
16.
16. As the answer confused comes from you, you start to sense the necrotic energy coming from your patron, sitting quite close to you. And it appears to be repelling something. It is pushing out from him, which is why you still feel comfortable. As that thought comes to you, it's almost as if the bubble he's surrounding himself in contracts. And suddenly you can feel the complete opposite. There is life everywhere. The city is teeming with it. There are thousands, if not millions, of people down the hill in that city. And it is a very familiar energy. It feels exactly like dice. It feels exactly like Ace.
Humans. I feel humans. Millions of humans.
Yes.
Why?
That is an answer I have been searching for longer than you can imagine.
Where are we?
Again, you're asking the right questions, but I am still, as you should be, seeking the answers. But you have more pressing questions, I'm assuming.
I found a gate, a device for planar travel
One of many, yes. The only one in your lands, but one of many.
I wondered whether it was of any use to you, Master.
Should you find the address in your realm, it would be. I
address
cannot
gate?
cross the address for my realm.
I reach into my robes for the diagrams. Do I find them?
There's nothing in your robes.
I have many addresses. Many of them have been marked out. The main one I found was for, I believe, Shadowfell.
I am not surprised. It was drawn by an elf.
This is not your realm?
No.
But
There are many realms of dark energy, as you would understand it. There are many realms of death. There is hell, the underworld, the Shadowfell. I inhabit another.
What is your realm, Master?
I am one of only 2 gods that reside here. My sister, you have not met, but she is watching you, as she tends to with my acolytes. Mine is a realm of balance.
Does it have a name?
I do not believe that many mortals even know this realm exists.
Do you have a name, Master?
Not for millennia. Not one I can remember. It is not a useful piece of information in a realm that no one speaks.
What should I call you?
Whatever you wish, the name will come to you.
I'm not very good at naming things. My former master is the one I learned from, and he called himself Pestilence.
And as a favor to you, Sepsis, I will think on it and give you my name when next we meet.
I'm obliged to you.
And do not worry, it will not be Rumpelstiltskin or something like that.
I was thinking Slarty Bartfast, but it seems like a very poor name.
I think so too.
What can I do to serve you, Master? I'm keen to gain more favor, more power.
You are doing well already in that respect. I would ask that you find out why the realms have been severed. Why only the small cracks between them are accessible. Why it is so difficult to open the gates. Unlike it once was, where you could just turn a handle and open the door. I would also like you to find the truth of this. And he gestures once more towards the city in front of him.
I'll do what I can.
This is but one city across an entire world where cities like this, even greater than this, exist.
I will do what I can, but I do not know where to start.
The one thing that I think will interest you, there is no magic here. No magic but what you bring with you.
I see. It seems dangerous.
You could be a god here, Sepsis.
That's attractive.
For the most part, though, investigate the elves. Pay close attention to the sundering, to the cataclysm. When all of those humans disappeared. Because I think I've found where they ended up. And he stares forward again at the city. And as your attention is drawn towards it, your vision goes cloudy and you dream no more.
Oof.
So the next morning, you all wake easily.
I remove that point of exhaustion.
You can finally, if you wish, remove that point of exhaustion. Unfortunately, it's a very boring journey because I rolled for 3 days and each one of the rolls came up with everything was fine, nothing happened. I
like that.
So I've just rolled on the weather table, and apart from a bit of rain. So is there anything else you would like to do while journeying in space?
Nope. Hey, Sepsis. When did you get a wand?
What? I've had this for quite a while.
With a bit of crystal on the end of it.
I found it. I think it was in that near that Drider that we met.
Why would you pick it up when it made me and Ace so uncomfortable?
The wand?
No, the
crystal. I mean, it's a bit dangerous to have it around the guys.
I don't know.
Does it not feel dangerous to you?
No. Does it feel dangerous to you? And I take out the wand and hold it close to Dice.
How do I feel?
Nothing.
No, actually, it feels fine.
There you go.
What if I poke it? Can I poke it?
Don't touch it.
You can
Please,
poke it.
just don't risk touching it.
I probably shouldn't poke it after what happened to the hand monster.
You can poke it.
Hand monster.
Put it away, Sepsis. Put the rod away, Sepsis.
Clint pokes it before he does. Takes away his hand. Nothing wrong.
Seriously, Clint. Hand monsters. Monsters made of hands.
Same crystal that's been in the mine that's been causing problems for humans.
I have to murder my dog.
Okay.
Yes, but
Now you're talking.
No, my actual dog. He keeps giving me his ball on my foot. He won't go away. Go away.
it just feels cold. Sepsis, this is a surprise to you as it feels quite warm in your hand.
I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Perhaps when it's
Oh
not...
well. Just put it away before it causes any damage.
To be fair, if it was dangerous in this form, those big towers in the cities, every time a human touched them, if they turned into some sort of unliving creature with lots of hands, I think it would have been noted by now, perhaps. I'm just saying, maybe it's a form thing. In its raw form, it's dangerous in this form, or it can be used or channeled, or it was deliberate in the mines.
Well, let's
I
not
think that it's
risk
stable now.
Still,
You
let's
guys
not
have been
risk it.
around it for some time.
No, that's okay. I trust you. It's fine.
Whatever. Let's keep going.
Let's go to bathe.
I'd kill to bathe.
Do you think they have baths in bathe?
I hope so.
That's why people come from all over. They have almost the entire town is an extensive, naturally heated bathhouse.
Ori!
Never leaving.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, Dice, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna soak it up.
Okay, let's keep going.
As you continue on, the rain from yesterday has let up somewhat. There's a slight drizzle, which is almost continuous. And somehow you feel wetter than you did the day before when the raindrops were huge. This seems to be seeping in. You feel as if your bones are wet. But by the end of the day, it seems like the clouds have lightened and the rain is eventually stops as you come to rest again. Clint's telling you that you are now maybe only a day away from Bath itself.
As we're going to bed, can I just very quickly, as a humorous moment, turn to Ori and go, you know, it feels a lot like Kimria being this wet all the time.
Yeah, it's unpleasant
I'm moist.
and not in a fun way.
You okay there, Rich?
As you all bed down for the night,
My voluminous folds are sobbing.
Are they dripping, Seb said?
Yes.
I expect at this point Ace, just because they're not here to say so, is going.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, as you all bed down for the night, Oriana, you see, seemingly undetected by anyone else, as you hear the snores pick up around you, you see, just off in the distance, a shaft of moonlight shines through, and next
Not
to
good enough reason to use the word shaft.
next to a small stream that you didn't realize was there before, there is a robed woman. It's a heavy black robe. She seems to be wearing maybe, is it widow's weeds over her face? It's hard to tell her features, but she seems old the way she holds herself. And you can't quite tell from this distance, but she seems to be repairing what looks like a net. But from this distance, it looks somewhat like a web, as it holds water to it the same way a web does, dewdrops gathering on each strand. The widow's weeds turn as if she's looking straight at you. And you can't see it, but you can tell she's smiling. Somehow you just know that she's smiling at you. And her hand comes away from the net and just beckons you over.
I quietly make my way over, trying not to wake anyone.
Okay. As you move, you feel lighter than normal. You look back and are startled to see you are still laying on the ground, wrapped around dice. Cedric forming a kind of nice, comfortable thing to lean against for the both of you. And
Okay, out of body experience. Cool.
you look down, even in the dark of night. You are light. You are shining light in the darkness. It is a bright light. It is white, and you move as if you glide. You cannot feel the ground beneath your feet. And as you move closer to her, the light dims and you become more solid. You still can't feel the ground beneath your feet, but you feel a strange mixture of swirling warm and cold energy that seems to come from her. I have a cousin who has a great interest in you, but you are far from his lands, and he is currently busy, but has asked me to come in his stead.
And who would your cousin be?
You know his name. You've seen his face. You know where he resides.
I look down.
It's not actually there, but
Yeah.
I take your meaning. Hades sends his regards.
And your name? Your family tree is quite extensive.
Our family tree is dead, rotten, chopped up for firewood, but that is the way of all things. They end. The most you can hope for is a good end. Hades knows more about that. I know more about ending battle, struggle, strife.
I suppose.
You grew up in my land. So, as a child of many different places, but having lived in my land for long enough, I will give you my name. You can call me the Morrigan.
Morrig.
Morrig works. I'm the Morrigan, but Morrig works.
Morrigan.
You may have heard tales of me, appearing in different guises to this. This, however, is my most comfortable one. I am weary. I have been around for a long time. And this is, again, the natural state of all things. We age, we wither.
Yeah.
This, and she plucks at a string of the net, is very important to you. And as she plucks at the string, you feel a light shining from behind you. You turn and you can see now, not your body, but the bodies of all of your companions start to shine brighter. Do not worry, I will not cut it. This is a strong string. However, like all of the strings of this net, they are stronger as a whole than they are apart. The net would be useless if I unraveled it. Your group will help you stay strong. Trust them, even if they do something untrustworthy.
I try.
A lot of them only have your best interest in heart, even if they do not know it.
I get that from. There's one that concerns me a little, but they not so much recently.
It is not you that should be concerned about them, but others. I've never met someone so marvelously rigidly chaotic.
I've had my suspicions for a while. I figured best not to ask any questions.
You can ask.
They won't tell me the truth.
I, like them, will probably give you some answers.
I'd get half truths.
You
And I'd probably
might
believe
get
them.
the full truth. But like you said, probably best not to ask.
Why the Morrigan gotta do me this way?
There is interest in him from another of my close family. He is safe for now. Or they are safe for now. Sorry.
I've suspected for a while that they have a patron of sorts.
What a diplomatic way of putting it. Why did you want to speak to Hades?
I'm curious. And I'm lonely.
But you have many friends.
There's something to be said in confiding in your faith. And trying to learn who you really are.
Absolutely, but surely the people who know you best are best placed to help you answer those questions.
I suppose. But there's some things they can't answer.
There are others that Hades will not. He, like many of the gods, gives enough so you think they've answered a question, even though you've actually found the solution yourself. I'm quite forthright.
Yes.
I've always found it easier to answer questions directly and quickly, as most of the people asking them of me die very shortly after.
Editing.
But it is nice to have a somewhat long conversation with a mortal. I think this is the longest conversation I've had with a mortal ever.
I'm happy to hold a conversation with you.
Well, I thought I'd do it now, because the further away you get from my homeland, the harder this will be. Is there anything you would wish to know, Oriana? Devilborn.
Don't tease me. I doubt you could answer it.
Try.
Do you know who my parents are?
Yes.
And who?
Oh, no. I answered your first question. I did not say I would answer a second.
See?
Hades knows more. Much more.
I was going to ask you another question, but I guess that's pointless. I'll ask him someday when he decides he can contact me.
That is only a question that can be answered in person.
Then I'll look for him.
And I'm sure you will find him. However, they will help.
Well, I'm helping them look for somebody else as well.
Seeing what you've done so far, there are very few others who could manage it, I would think.
We're an odd sort.
Come. My lot in existence is to cheer people before they leave my company, even though you are not to then join the many ranks of people I ferry to the darkness or the underworld. Surely I can cheer you before you go to your rest. Ask me something I can answer.
Will they be safe?
In the underworld?
Yeah.
I can assure you that with the things many of you have already done, regardless of how you get there, if you find yourselves in the Twilight Realms, you will all be safe after a fashion. But it does depend on how you get there, as to what fashion that is.
I suppose. I don't think there's much you can do for me.
I can give you a warning.
Yeah?
There is a realm that those who die on the water are dragged to. And it is not one that your lord, my cousin, or your friend's patron have access to. It, in its way, is a safe repository for your soul, but it is not a fun one.
Don't die on the water, Jack.
However, though your lord may come from the underworld, should you die beneath the earth, your soul may wander for all eternity.
I can think of a worse fate.
And under the earth, there are worse fates than death.
Try me.
Take care and watch out for those with squid mouths. And she
Be careful of
smiles.
beaks.
She smiles and disappears, and your vision turns black, and you dream no more.
Sepsa, the reason Morrigan's got to do you like that is because you pissed her off.
I don't know what you're talking about. We had a very nice chat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you all wake up on the third day. The rain is gone, the clouds are broken, the sun is shining down above you, and Clint seems more energetic today. He is clicking his shoulders, stretching his back. Cannot wait to get a soak. It is one of the best parts about having a contact in bathe that I normally meet them in a bath.
When we get close, can you tell us when we're about 10 minutes away so I can change my form?
Of course, it is a walled town. There are north, south, east, and west gates. Shouldn't be too hard to get into. Travellers from all over come. However, humans aren't allowed to partake in bathing. However, they can, if they wish, enter the bathhouses with their patrons.
That's okay. Perhaps it's time not to be human while I have a bath.
I have a disguise, so I'm going in as a tall goblin.
And some of these towns seem to be more and less heavily patrolled. Is this, I'm getting the impression, maybe a more heavily patrolled one?
No, it's one of the least patrolled ones, which is why a lot of business and contacts come through here. You'll find that Albion is worse than Cimria. Or,
Maria's worse than Albion.
well, in some ways more than others. The people are more downtrodden here because they know there is no escape. Those cuffs they wear are much harder to remove.
I wanted to ask you about those, actually.
That's correct.
What do they do? What abilities do they have? I had a look at one, but people look at us strangely for not wearing one.
It is now daytime, yes. As you... Normally, if you were part of a slave caravan that was taken from Cimria to Albion, you would stop at the border and probably transported into Brisket to have your collars taken off and the braces affixed. A master who has the connection stone to those braces can cause the wearer's pain, but it is not selective. So a master with 10 slaves, all 10 slaves are bound. If one slave steps out of bounds or does something rash or wrong, all slaves are punished with either excruciating pain or with the most cruel and uncaring of the masters with death.
It seems like a waste of slaves. If you want to kill one slave, what? You have to kill them all? I suppose you could just take an axe to their head.
You use one slave and keep everyone in line.
I guess.
If you're risking yourself, you'll risk it. If your actions are going to cause pain to others, you're not going to risk it.
But is that the reason that Albion seems to be less heavily patrolled than Cimria?
It's easier to keep in line than us wild Cimrians. If you ever go to Picklands, there's no collars, there are no cuffs. However, that is a border that is the most heavily patrolled of all. It's almost impossible to get north, and they don't have any plans to come south anytime soon, at least according to Father anyway.
Is it worth Asa and I finding fake versions of the cuffs instead of the collars to make us stand out less while we're in Albion?
No, as long as you have the papers. Like I said, it's only wholesale. And you are kind of shocked by the nature in which, or the way in which Clint speaks about the selling of human beings.
I don't think I'm that shocked.
It's strange, but he's lived this for years.
Costco for humans.
It's all he knows. If you're brought into
Buy in bulk.
if you're brought into Albion wholesale, they would be fitted as the servants of free adventurers. You can move about as you wish in your collars. It doesn't matter.
I suppose this is information, though, Sepsis, because if ever queried on it, you can say that you prefer to punish us individually.
Yes.
And we only have the two of you.
Yeah.
I have to wear one because if I am to travel around freely, my main get out or main escape is normally, if I do not get back soon, my master will kill me. As you will see, humans are allowed to travel freely here because they always have
restrictions.
They always have somewhere to be. They always have a curfew.
People seem more inclined to speak with us as well. It does not seem so taboo to speak with humans and to focus only on Hugin and Moonin over here.
It's quicker. It seems to be the general thought in Albion. You'll find it's even more relaxed in some ways on the continent.
Interesting. Thank you for the information. And I'm going to sort of wander along, thinking.
As you make your way closer, then you start to see farms. They're not as close together as the farms that surrounded Cawdydd or Briscow, but they seem to be well tilled. They seem to be well maintained. There's quite a lot of farmers in the fields. Some children running around. The children look relatively happy, well fed. And Clint points out that these are the farms that tend to feed or provide just the base foods to bathe. Most of the other foods that they serves, like the more the rarer delicacies served in the bathhouses, are imported from all over Albion and further. But the farms here are just for wheat, grain, cabbages, that kind of thing as you pass through. As you make your way towards sunset on the third day, you get to the crest of a hill, easy enough for most of you to climb, as it's not a hill, whereas you lived with mountains surrounding your town for your entire life and climbed them easily every day. This is more of a bump in the ground.
It's a slight incline.
You get to the top and you can see down in a low bowl of ground steam. There seems to be a cloud of mist in front of you rolling across the ground in the cold air. The longer you stare, you can see far off in the distance, there is just the details of a small walled town kind of peeking out from the mist. And Clint goes, "That's Bath."
Oh shit.
It's kind of always like that. It gets quite sweaty.
You'd think that it would be more
Good.
to climb. What with it being so shrouded?
Everyone's, I suppose, it is easy to steal there. Everyone's kind of naked, though. You need to basically go to most of the locker rooms and their homes, which are normally quite heavily guarded.
Hey, Ori, you're going to be dressed like everyone else.
In fact,
I'm so excited to go into this place. I'm probably overdressed.
Ori is actually overdressed. Most of the bathing is done without clothing.
Sepsis, you're going to be a very sweaty person.
Yes, I'm not going to be doing any bathing.
No, you don't want to join us? You surprised me.
No, I'm not. I'm okay, thank you. It rained a few days ago. I'm clean enough.
Does Sepsis smell of anything? Just out of curiosity.
No.
Well, you don't smell.
Maybe mushrooms. There's a kind of musty, kind of below the earth kind of
Like a
smell.
mossy smell.
Yeah. Because of all of the ingredients they have on them and the pocket mushrooms that they have. But no, there's no... It's not a bad odor. They just smell like the forest.
You smell it.
Sepsis. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
What is
This
it?
is Clint. I don't know, obviously, the etiquette of this, but what do you look like under there?
Oh.
A lot like Ori, actually.
You're a tiefling then?
No.
A little short for a tiefling.
A mini tiefling.
They said I was a little short for a stormtrooper as well. That's why I ended up in a D&D campaign.
Bad joke.
I didn't think so.
You know, I have never seen a Sepsis, and I've been traveling with them for some time now.
Sorry. Do you have inspiration already, Greg?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay.
Greg, inspiration.
If you can sneak a Star Wars reference into my D&D campaign, you get inspiration every time. Just saying.
The Star
In
Wars
fairness,
reference.
Charlie did make that reference. I
You
just
don't. You have already have inspiration.
I still have the one you gave me in like the
There
first
you go.
session.
Then. I thought.
But stop
I
trying
thought
to give inspiration to other people other than the person that actually said the thing.
Okay.
Clint, I don't think it's polite to ask what people look like under their clothing unless you're intending to sleep with them. Are you sexually attracted to me, Clint?
Yeah, Clint. I mean, that's a really personal thing to ask.
I'll be honest, Sepsis. I don't know if I'm sexually attracted to you because I don't know what you look like under the cloak.
Well, let's keep it that way, shan't we? I think a little mystery is the basis of our future liaison.
As we're wondering, are you sexually attracted to anyone in this group? Just curious. I like watching him, like, just a bit embarrassed.
No comment.
No,
I mean, that's a yes.
that's absolutely a yes. Who are you attracted to?
Cedric, and he stalks off to start setting up camp.
Oh yeah, it's probably Oriana. Everyone's attracted to Oriana.
Apparently.
You
All I
already
know
said
is
it was the dog. He's a dog fucker. We know that now.
Sepsis. What race are you?
Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people what race they are.
Yes, you can. I know your skin color.
What's my skin color?
It's like a yellowy green tone.
Well, why do you know that?
Because I've seen it.
I look down at myself, trying to find where my skin's on display.
It was a while ago.
I think it was the way the light hit you once inside your hood. It was just fluke.
A little bit of a snoop, aren't you, Ariana?
You know we don't.
That is so rich coming from you.
I don't know what you mean.
You know we don't care, right? We are your friend. It doesn't matter to us if you're a goblin, if you're a gremlin, if you're a hedgehog with extra eyes. I don't care. You're still my.
I'm 3 raccoons in a cloak.
Weirdly, that's unbelievable.
You are shifty enough to be that.
He's 3 kobolds in a cloak. That's why he actually attacked the other kobolds. Just because they are 3 kobolds in a cloak.
I cast minor illusion to put like a raccoon face inside my hood.
Okay, Sepsis, you keep your secrets.
We really don't care. If you think we're going to judge you for who or what you are, we won't. But if you want to be 3 raccoons in a cloak, that's cool too, because look how cute.
I'm not sure that you can know whether you're going to judge someone before you know what you're judging them for.
Surely you can, because I know your personality.
I mean, as long as you're not an elf.
Right, put the pencils down, motherfucker.
Are you an elf?
If I were an elf, do you think I would be suffering the iniquities of having to sleep under hedges
No, and
instead of taking my place in society?
More importantly, I think you'd be able to read Elvish if you were an elf.
And you can take place in society. You're not human, unless you are human. And I'm really worried about your complexion.
Really,
I'm not.
Do I know anything that has greenish yellow skin, Rich? Apart from goblins?
Roll a nature check.
Oh. What the hell? Oh, it might actually not suck. It won't be great though. 15.
Goblins, orcs,
I got 20.
goblinoids, orcs. You heard of a strange extraplanar race that has not been seen in some time in most parts of the world. From a very strange, weird book that you read back in Nidum called the Githyanki.
Githyanki.
Yankee.
Are you a very small orc?
Is beginning to upset me.
Okay.
Okay, we'll stop.
As we're continuing on, I'll pat Sepsis and go, I think I prefer you as 3 raccoons in a cloak anyway.
Let's get your voluminous folds to camp.
As Clint is setting up for camp, you are in quite an open field on top of an open hill. There's a few trees around, very little cover. So he does help set up camp, but without any fire in the middle, warning you that it is going to be a cold night. So bed down, keep the tent short. I'm going to need everyone to roll a stealth check, please.
Fine. I mean, Ariana's warm enough that I never really get cold.
Right, is this one at disadvantage for Ace, or are we not really moving around?
You're not moving around, so it's not movement.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I
my
get advantage.
maybe a 25 there.
15.
Okay. Ace got, believe it or not, a 16. And Sepsis got a very respectable 10.
Okay.
Cedric got 17 and I got 26.
I got 15.
No, I said less than that. 21. Sorry. I think.
Just roll again.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I definitely said it out loud. It was 21.
Okay. All right. Cool. So
I'm not rolling it again. I might fail.
you find a patch of quite long grass, lay down in it, and feel that you are completely invisible from the outside world. Others, you may be slightly more visible, but you are tired from the day's journey, and with no other option, bed down where you can. The night passes quickly. In the morning, you are woken by a slight rumbling sound,
Ace's stomach.
more like a feeling.
Does it remind me of the bullet or anything?
No.
Good.
Roll a perception check.
Not the land train, is it? That's caught.
9.
10.
9 for Ace as well.
My cocked one was a 19.
Clint says, no one move, no one sit up, everyone stay exactly where they are. There are horses approaching.
Oh, good.
And the rumbling does get louder and louder
I'm not sure staying still is such a good idea.
until it stops.
Uh-oh.
Does it stop when it's at its loudest?
You hear a voice from just down the hill. Hold the camp.
I'm going to immediately disguise self as Hugin,
Same.
Yeah, I turn myself into Judah.
Okay.
and Ace will use the hat of disguise to become whoever the fuck they are.
Okay.
Not Judah.
Dylan.
Okay.
Dylan.
You can sense movement from where Clint is. There seems to be, you can hear a lot of shifting of clothing. You can hear the hands rubbing on skin.
As Hugin, I'm just going to stand up. Say, oh there!
Clint just got a natural 20 on his disguise self on his disguise kit check.
It's quick. How long does it take to apply a disguise kit?
Apparently not very long. But who sits up first?
Hugin.
Hugin. Okay.
Unless disguise kit is like quicker than an action.
No. As you look down the hill then, so from their vantage point, they probably can't see Clint that well. There are 10 elven guards. Most on horseback, but the one at the front has stepped off the horse and is now approaching you.
Hi, Shane.
Hi, Shane.
Oh, hey Shane. Sorry to break story. Hey Shane, we missed you.
Missed you loads. You've been gone for so long.
But yeah, anyway, back in the room. Okay. So
Yes. So how many elven guards did you say? Sorry.
10.
10. All right, there, me babbers.
May I approach?
Of course. Far be it from us to be unfriendly.
And he starts striding up the hill towards the camp. Are you going to stride down to meet him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I follow looking servantish.
I get up and follow. Excuse me.
Who's that then?
Moonin.
Excuse me.
Pardon my
Moonin.
friend there, he's got a bit of a hay fever.
I have. Sleeping in a field was a bad idea, but like all stretching and everything, because I've just woken up.
So as you approach, you do see that they unclip bows from their back. They're not the string of arcane energy that you normally see that manifests in these bows is not there yet.
I'm gonna sort
The
of
man before
hold my
you does
hands
have
up.
his hand on his hilt, as presented with more than one person approaching him, but he's not drawing a blade yet.
I'm gonna hold my hands up in a sort of non-threatening way and just be like, "Hold up, there. Is there some sort of problem?"
You outnumber us, sirs.
No, there's no problem. There are very few that travel these lands and stay so far away from town. We were just checking whether you were all right, I suppose.
Oh yeah, we like to travel as cheap as possible, you know. Sort of adventurers like, and we don't like to spend too much money on lodgings if we can avoid it. This here patch of grass seemed mighty comfortable.
I have a cousin in the adventuring business himself. He is very much the same as yours. He's still quite poor most of the time, but I understand the sentiment.
Oh, as am I, master.
You are adventurers, you say?
Oh, sometime. I'm Hugin. This is my partner Munin. We are Hugin and Munin Muscle for Hire.
This meeting then may be quite serendipitous. Can I please see your papers?
Oh, of course, master. Hang on a moment. Hand me me vabber. And
I hand mine over.
I pass them over to the guy.
Uganumunin, Degar, and Halfork. Where is the other human?
Oh, he's sleeping in. We left him on watch hour for the night. So we find he's pretty much useless at the best of times. But if he doesn't get his solid 6 hours, you might as well not have him.
Enough use of their time, I suppose, keeping watch. These papers seem to be all above board. Recently from Kimria, then.
Aye, that's where we was contracted.
Too much for you, or fancied further adventures further afield?
Oh, we like to
Your
keep
case.
moving. You know, we're trying to see as much of this fine country as we possibly can.
You sound like a local.
I'm what they call a social chameleon, master. I sort of pick up the local tongue, as it were.
It's a terrible habit of his, actually, but he really does just seem to pick up accents incredibly quickly.
Then I can only give my condolences for how the rest of you must have felt when you were in Kimria.
Thank you.
I expect his accent was atrocious. Sorry, no offense, young master.
It's
no,
not nearly
quite-
as bad as this Charlem one.
Quite understood, sir. It was a bit of a time.
Well, as to why I said this meeting was quite serendipitous, then, we are currently still trying to round people up for a grand adventure. If we leave now, I believe we can make it to the nearest land trade station.
By grandsire, do you mean I pay in?
Very high paying, incredibly dangerous, but for one such as yourself, I suppose if you are looking for different adventures in different parts of the country, this could be More different than you would ever imagine.
And whereabouts in the country is it?
Not so much in the country as below the country.
And it's leaving right away.
The land train to Londinium is.
Londinium, Master. Oh,
That is a travel. You see,
It
we were
seems-
hoping to test out the baths.
Well, they will be leaving soon. If you wish to test out the baths, that is, of course, your prerogative. But I've heard that the survivors will be paid incredibly handsomely, possibly more than 10,000 gold split between the two of you.
might I ask, does Master have any details of this extraordinarily dangerous and lucrative mission?
Yes, it seems like your bearded cousins, by which, as a Durgar,
Yeah,
you would know to mean a dwarf.
I spit.
Yes, quite. It seems that your bearded cousins have once again become a nuisance. While we've beaten them out of the greater parts of Albion and secured them in their apparent mountain fortress in Cimria, the continental ones are trying to force their way through the corridors in the underground to try and help their northern cousins. So, with the aid of some disgusting half-breeds, call themselves, I do not know if you are aware of them, they have not been heard of in centuries, the Drow.
I think
Have you
I've
heard the name?
heard that name before.
They call themselves true elves, but they are twisted by abyssal magic, and they are even if they were once part of our race, they are a twisted version of their former selves.
Sounds truly abhorrent, Master.
They are currently trying to get through the Underdark, namely from the continent, and we are trying to take part in a pincer movement, which is orchestrated by the great Lord Emperor himself. And you hear, even at this distance, all the elves behind him, "Praise be his name!"
Praise be his name.
Yes.
Yes. Praise be he. We will enter from the north, they will enter from the south. We will catch the contingent of dwarves and drow in the middle, and finally rout the rebels once and for all.
Might my master grant me a moment here to talk with my colleague?
I will say, though, for information, as you are an inquisitive, you seem like the kind of person who likes to know exactly what business he's entering into before he agrees to enter into it. The dangers are probably not from the dwarves and the drow. They are easy enough to kill, quite weak as races go. The dangers come from the other things that can be found lurking down there. Many have gone, many brave adventurers have gone below the ground and never returned.
Where there is great risk, there is great reward, though.
Exactly.
Any, what be the nature of these creatures, these beasties underground?
Impossible to say, as none have ever returned. But you will be led by a small contingent of the finest elven hunters known to these lands. There are, I believe, more than a few of your kind going, and more than a few of yours. There are quite a few humans going down as
Fodder?
I was going to say shield wall, but if you want to be blunt about it, yes.
Well, led
Any
as they
of
are
your
by
kind?
elves, I'm sure that they can't fail.
Yes, as I said, sorry, there will be quite a few of our finest hunter regiments going down into the mines with you. They will lead the charge.
Allow us a moment to discuss this. Young master is
Not bounty hunters, I'll have you. We have a regiment of hunters.
Yes, of course.
The finest of their breed. They're not the more disreputable bounty hunters that are sometimes called upon by local lords. They are soldiers, and as such, the finest we have to offer.
Thank you. Well, a moment, master. I just want to discuss this with my colleague.
Of course.
I scurry over with my hood up and sort of stand beside Sepsis and Oriana, just looking at the ground.
I look at Ariana and I say, "This is perfect."
Can I talk to the ground and just go, this is a terrible idea?
In what way? They're going exactly where we want to go.
Right, and then we're surrounded by the hunters who are actively looking for us.
Those ones aren't,
How do you know?
because they're going down to kill dwarves and drow in the Underdark. That's got nothing to do with us.
Sorry?
It's a little 50-50, but it gets us where we wanted to go.
Londinium,
Down with
without
hundreds
without
of
without
elves,
stopping
humans,
off on
other
every
adventurers.
podunk town on the way, we get
We
straight to Londinium and then go underground, where exactly where we want to go, without having to fight our way in.
We can always fake our deaths and go. Once we're down there, fake your death and run.
Can you not hear us, Mel?
Yeah, my accent's
Say that again, sorry, Millie.
yeah, it's saying my internet connection's unstable. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Oh,
hear
like
you.
my mental
Yeah,
health.
yeah.
Like many of our mental health.
We
Health?
could take the mission, take this, go down. Hugin, Mugen, Judith, whatever. Meet an unfortunate end, and we carry on out the other end.
Or even survive and collect an extraordinary wealth of gold.
I imagine we'd have to go back to Londinium to get that reward.
But with that money, we could cross the ocean in a ship.
But we'd already
not
be
have-
in the tunnel underneath to go. And how far into this tunnel, we don't know. If we're over the halfway point,
once-
then what's the point?
You make an excellent point. Once we're there, we can make these decisions. Whereas if we don't go, we don't have these options open to us.
All right.
Fuck it, let's go.
I break from the circle and swagger towards
Oi!
the.
You
Excuse
hear a
me?
strange voice from further up the hill.
We got company. Why did you wake me?
I think it was important, you little shit.
You see a long-eared, green, quite tall goblin ambling down the hill towards you.
Why does it remind me of Connor?
Why did you wake me?
Because your opinion on the matter doesn't count.
You know what you're like when you're awoken unexpected.
Who are these fine folks?
Some upstanding members of the Elven Guard with a proposition for us. A right
Wow.
attractive one, as it happens.
We need to get somewhere with a different accent. That's grating, that is. Good morrow. Good morrow. My name is Fishface. For no reason. What's happening?
The
These
young
guys-
master here has offered us a job to go underground at Londinium and fight some dwarves and some perverted drow for a frankly outrageous sum of money.
Oh, I'm having a bath.
Thought
All
you
right,
might.
well,
You wouldn't
don't
be
have
much
to
good
come-
down there anyway, you little shit.
you don't have to come with us. Our business association could end here.
Does that mean I wouldn't have to listen to your horrible accent?
It'll be a different accent before too long.
Because I do not. If we're going to Londinium first, I do not want to hear you be all cockney.
If we travel with easier guards, I'll probably sound smooth as silk before you know it.
Not that much better.
Fishface,
don't-
why don't you stay here and have your bath? And
Everyone knows
then
you need it.
you
Well,
always said you weren't going to travel with us all the way anyway.
all right then. Bye.
Bye then.
And he starts
Aye.
to wander off towards Bath, happily waving at the elves as he moves through them.
I have a great tip, and it's don't ever travel with a goblin.
Especially not one named Fishface.
They are slightly better than others in your party, I suppose.
Aye, but them don't make
The
as
others
much
are
noise.
easier. Yeah, the others are easier to ignore.
Anyway, we've discussed your kind offer, Master, and we feel it sounds very fair. An opportunity to find fame and fortune underground at Londinium. How possibly could we
adventure.
refuse you?
Well, I will. Very well. Do not go into bathe then. If you travel directly north of here, on foot it should take you no more than an hour. And he looks at the sun. Hurry a bit. Not quite certain of the exact time. But you should be able to get on the first land train to London. You'll be there in a couple of days.
We'll
Perfect.
see you there, sir. Can I take your name by any chance?
Yes, my name is Marcus.
It's what, sorry?
Marcus.
Oh, it sort of sounds like you went to say Marcus and then realised you'd already named a character that.
Marcus.
I see. Marcus.
And where do we
Definitely
go?
real name. That.
No, Marcus.
Aha. I'm writing it down. Marcus.
No, Marcus.
Marcus.
Right, it must be the accent. I'll probably have a different one next we speak.
In the common tongue, it is Marrrssch.
I see.
And once we get to Londinium, where do we go to report for duty?
Quite a lot of consonants.
If you report to the guards of the main station in Londinium, they will direct you where to go. You'll need to go to the headquarters of the Adventurers Guild.
Is there any
Headquarters of the Adventurers Guild.
Is there any paperwork, or are we expected to pay our way on the land train ourselves? Only, as I understand, as it's quite expensive.
Ah, yes, all the way to Londinium. No, I apologise. And he just stares back, doesn't even say anything. And one of his men immediately starts to jump off his horse, and he grabs a pack and he runs up the hill towards you quite quickly and stands to attention next to him after opening the flap on the pack. He takes out another piece of paper, and this says, this is an imperial decree. It will get you free passage to Londinium.
Oh, very kind, Master. It's much appreciated, I tell thee.
However, this will be checked when you reach Londinium, and then you will be directed, if not escorted, to the Adventurers Guild. Should you try and pass through without your ticket being checked, or try not to go to the Adventurers Guild, you will be killed.
I quite understand, sir.
This is a payment, as it were, for your trip to London.
Ah, well, yes, I can see as if everyone just completely ignored their orders, everything go Percy quack and handcart, wouldn't it?
Sorry.
Everything would go. On second thought, please do not explain.
Percy quack and handcart.
It's fine. It needs no explanation. I understand exactly what you mean.
I've killed Millie. I've killed her.
So, you are on a bit of a deadline. If you yes, of course. Sorry, we'll get straight to moving. Thank you again for this opportunity, my brother. My lord. Thank you very much for doing the great empire this courtesy and doing your duty. I hope
'tis an honour to serve.
I hope we meet once more, maybe. And he turns away and gets back on his horse.
Why is everyone so reluctant to meet me again?
Gets back on his horse. They all ride off. They wheel in perfect formation and ride off further into the distance.
Excellent. I guess we start moving north at pace.
Guess we'll have a bath another day.
I was
Sorry.
so hopeful.
I'm sorry. I understand you were looking forward to that.
Oh well, on with our plans.
It says Percy Quack and Handcart.
I heard the farmer's wife, the cartman's wife say it. It sticks in the mind. It's quite colourful.
As you get back to the top of the hill then to gather your camp, Ace is there holding a piece of paper in their hand.
Okay.
Hands it to you, and you read, "Good luck. If the fates allow, I will see you once again. Good luck, all of you. By the way, in answer to your earlier question, Dice, Oriana, Ace, that order, love Clint." And that's the end of the note.
Yeah, but
Get
what
in
order
there,
is that?
Dice.
Is that the order of fuck, marry, kill, or is it?
Oh, nobody would want to kill Ace. Come on. Well, apart from elves.
I'm not on this list.
And who would marry Oriana?
I would.
Other than the Inquisitor.
Did you want to be on this list? Are you hurt that Clint does not find you attractive?
No, it's just when he was being all he was being all evasive when I asked. I thought that maybe there was something there. No, of course I don't. Anyway, we've got a land train to catch. Let's hustle.
Let's head. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Are you going to rush as fast as you can?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Okay, so overland travel then. As you've done before, I would like everyone to make a group athletics check.
Gross.
Oh, it's not awful. I mean, mine's 13 and Cedric's is 20.
Okay,
Sepsis got a 10.
I got 12.
12.
And
Ace?
I'm rolling it. Give me a moment. That's a big plus. 20.
Okay. For the first one, it's not a high DC. All you needed was 10 or more. As you start on your journey, you've woken up after a long rest. You started your journey energized, and you start to rush off into the distance. You're moving north, which is the only direction you were effectively given. But someone that professional probably would have given you more directions if they were needed. And you rush headlong over hill and over dale. You do see other farms that you've noticed previously. More vegetables, carrots, potatoes. And
Boil and mash and stick them in a stew.
And after maybe half an hour of travel, I would like everyone, it's starting to get to you now. You are all starting to slow down a bit. I'd like everyone to make another athletics check.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Cedric got a 12. I got a 1.
Okay.
Woohoo! I beat someone.
He's not.
Oh Christ. So Ace got an 11,
Mm-hmm.
and Sepsis got a 3.
Okay. Oriana?
5.
Wow, what happened to us, guys?
Okay. Unfortunately, the missed breakfast really starts to play on you. The empty feeling in the pit of your gut as you start to run with very little energy, nothing to sustain you in the morning, none of your oats, really starts to get to you, and you do start to slow considerably. You can feel the lactic acid causing all of your muscles to burn horribly. So you start to slow down. You do start to lose ground quite a bit. The time ticks by. I would like everyone to make another athletics check.
Come on, actually, let's use 2 completely different dice because that was crap.
16.
Right, I'm going to... Oh, no, I'm not. Never mind. I was going to do something really stupid, but I'm not going to do it. Okay.
I got 11, Cedric got 14.
It's a 21 for Ace. Oh, and a natural 20 for Sepsis.
Jesus Christ.
Total of 19.
Okay. As you're rushing forward, then Sepsis, some kind of strange reptilian fear instinct kicks in. That you're going to miss what you need to do, and you burst ahead, being slightly faster than everyone actually there anyway. You kind of put on a burst of speed and rush off ahead. Ace, seeing that Dice and Cedric are currently struggling a little, does stop to give Cedric and Dice a hand and speeds them up comfortably. Oriana thinks, fuck am I doing? Flares her wings and immediately takes off and uses the air currents to quite easily glide through the air.
Yeah.
Remembering suddenly that she can fly.
They get in the way so often, and so often I forget I can fly. Oh wait, no, I can't. I'm a half-orc.
No, yeah, I'm
not currently in the middle of a deserted field. With no
True.
one.
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, you still have the wings. The disguise self is just an illusion spell.
True. I'm now a flying half-orc.
You just look like Superman.
And from your vantage point, Oriana, you can see a settlement, not even large enough to be considered a village or a hamlet. There just seem to be a lot of buildings with a dark scar in the landscape running straight through it. Probably the land train station.
Yeah. Not far ahead, guys.
You come into land. You can see from your vantage point the land train now pulling into the station.
Train's pulling in.
We've all done this for a bus before now.
I must have done it for a train.
Yeah, me too.
So you all come over the crest of a hill. As Oriana lands next to you, you can now see the town quite close up ahead. Or the station quite close up ahead. What preparations would you like to make before you go in?
I would like to disguise myself as Hugin again.
I recast disguise self because
Yeah.
Fine.
And Ace will also use the hat to be
Okay.
whatever, some dude.
Okay. As you approach, then you can see that there is quite a large contingent of elven guards manning the station and manning all of the buildings and doors that go inside. You can see there are quite a few horses as well, almost a huge stable yard on the south side of the train track of the track. And as you approach, a lot of the guards kind of turn half at attention. Many people approach from the south all the time. They're quite lazy about it. And you are not accosted as you make your way into the town. You can see that the station is built slightly higher off the ground than the rest of it. So there are quite a few steps going up along the long platform. But as you get to these steps, there is an elven guard standing at the bottom of each set. And you approach one.
Yeah, we dash up to one of them and come to a halt, panting in front of him.
He looks quite young, as elves go. Most of the elves that you've spoken to tend to have lines around their eyes. This one looks quite fresh-faced, but stern. Papers, please.
Give me a moment, Marister. I'm wasted on cross country. I am. We do require natural sprinters. I was waiting for you to realise what I was doing. It took you a couple of lines.
Trying not to laugh.
Very dangerous over short distances. I take out the papers and give them to him.
Okay. He scans over the papers. You can see that. In fact, no. Roll a perception check if you care.
All of us? Or
If you care.
I'd roll an insight check, possibly.
13.
Roll an insight if you want to.
14.
13 on perception.
13 on insight.
Okay. As you're staring at him,
I
then,
lied. 14.
as he's scanning over the paperwork, you can see that he is trying not to, but he is silently reading every line. You can see his mouth going, and from the words that his mouths are forming, you can see that he is reading the paperwork very slowly.
Master, I think we need to get on this train. I don't mean to rush you, but
I'm just making sure your paperwork is in order. Please,
I understand. I just I wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to serve the Empire.
You hear a roar from far up the track, which you have come to know many times is a restless land train beast that is ready to move.
Master, I think we need to get a move on. Can you possibly escort us to the train, perhaps, and read as you walk?
I go. We have the tickets, Master.
We have this. We've been asked to take part in this mission to clear out the dwarves and the drow in the Underdark.
Show me your ticket.
I show him.
And he looks, and this time there's no mumbling, there's no moving of his lips. He looks at the large stamp that's on the top of the decree. And he just goes, well, you should have shown me this earlier.
Sorry, I apologize.
Please, get on the train.
Oh,
and as you look up, the train starts to move slowly. I think you all better rush.
We will. Thank you, Master. I appreciate that.
And he shouts after you as you move. Next time, you should probably have thought exactly about when you should have turned up. Maybe a bit more leeway for yourself.
Maybe you should learn to read faster.
Do you say that?
Well, as I'm running and getting onto the train, I'm like, I don't shout it, but I do say, maybe you should learn to read faster.
He doesn't hear you.
I don't know why.
He doesn't hear you. He rolled a 4. He doesn't hear you.
Okay.
That's a good roll. Okay,
So
so we sprint for the train.
Yep, you sprint for the train. I would like everyone to make a athletics check.
Okay, I'm going to cast enlarge on myself.
Okay.
Give myself advantage.
Hi.
As you're all running forward, then you see Sepsis just grow twice the size that they normally are, and they start to lunge. Like,
can I fly onto the? No, I can't. Can I? Because I'm surrounded by people. Never mind. I got a 12.
Okay.
I'm going to use Flash of Genius on myself and Ori.
I got an 18 and Ace got a 15.
Wow.
I used my inspiration to re-roll that.
Yeah.
No, with Flash of Genius, you'd have ended up with 16.
She gave you Flash of Genius, child, so you don't need to. You get 16.
I rolled higher than that, but
you can keep your inspiration.
Yeah. I mean, I've had it this long.
So, surprisingly, Sepsis is the first to leap from the platform onto the train. Makes it straight through the doors, clearing it quite well. Followed very closely then by Ace, who immediately then reaches back for the both of you. But with a small burst of energy that comes from somewhere about Dice's person, you feel inspired, Oriana, as do you, Dice, and you both surge forward at the last moment. And
I'm still only 15 with Flash of Genius, just so you know.
That's fine. And you both surge forward and land on the train. Cedric, staying at the back just to make sure that his master or mistress did get on the train, is quite comfortably pistoning away and just keeping pace with the train. And then jumps on after you. You find yourself in a very familiar setting. It is a storage cart. There are many, many boxes that line the carriage in front of you.
Don't you dare open any of them.
Hey, look.
Holy shit.
That's a big raid.
Wow.
That's a big raid.
That's a huge raid. Thank you, Z Basher.
Is that not the person who does the animated spellbook?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Rich?
Yeah?
Look familiar.
The boxes look exactly the same as the boxes you saw before.
Well, I don't touch.
It is.
Hi. I don't touch the boxes. I don't go anywhere near the boxes of angry hands. The boxes are full of angry hands. And I go and sit down.
Do not touch the boxes.
Do not touch the boxes.
So you are leaving the boxes well alone.
Yes.
Extremely well.
Yeah.
Last time I touched a box, I got attacked by angry hands.
Okay. I will investigate a box, but I am not opening it.
Why?
Brian,
I'm looking for any markings on the outside of the box that might indicate what's inside them.
Sepsis?
Do I feel any necromantic energy coming away from the boxes? Since it's my sort of thing.
You absolutely do without even rolling. Oriana, roll an investigation check.
That one, which gives me 4.
4. The boxes are faded. Any stamps on them, quite unintelligible. No words. However, you can see that maybe it's the same stamp that's on the ticket you were given.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
An imperial stamp. It could very well be a watermark. You're not quite sure.
Does this carriage feel cold?
Yes.
I ain't opening the box.
I look at them.
We need to stay on this train. I'm not opening that box.
I kind of want to see if they're actually hands or if it's like a foot monster this time.
Dice.
There is, however, because as you were jumping on the moving train, there is, however, because you've landed effectively on one of the rear carriages, there is a door to the front of the carriage. There's a further door to the back of the carriage.
Sepsis obviously landed on the train, sort of crumpled to one knee. They now stand to their full height of 8 feet, towering over Dice, and just go, "You will not."
Fucking hell, Sepsis! What the hell?
It's gravy time.
I'm big.
Yeah, no.
How long?
And then it fades because it only lasts a minute.
Is this what you did to the baby when the baby punched you in the face and it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen?
I prefer not to think about the time I got punched by the very big baby.
I think it was one of the funniest things in the universe.
Oh, I'm so glad that you thought so.
Do we want to go forward or back? I assume storage is at the back, so maybe we should make our way forward through the train.
Or perhaps we should stay here because then we don't have to remain disguised the entire time.
A good point.
I'm kind of uncomfortable staying around the boxes of human body parts.
Why,
I mean, we don't know if they are human
resist
body parts. I'm
opening
just
them?
not going to. Yeah.
I mean, there is necromantic energy coming from them.
Okay, let's maybe move to a different storage carriage that doesn't have necromantic energy.
I don't think it can hurt you.
I really don't want to be around dead people.
Roll an Arcana check, Sanchez.
You realise that if it says that it can hurt them, I'm still going to stand
Yeah,
by
I know.
what I said. Okay. It doesn't matter because I rolled an 11.
Yeah, it might.
It probably won't hurt you.
Can I roll an Arcana check against necromantic energy? Would it mean anything to me?
You can try.
Okay, let's not screw this for a change. Wow.
Listen, the necromancy lobby says that there are no conclusive studies that show that necromancy is harmful to humans.
10.
No, you're probably okay.
Might be all right. Look, let's just move maybe forward one and see if it's also full of boxes, okay?
And if it's full of elven guards?
Is it likely? Just open the door and check.
I will.
Yes.
Okay, so as Hugin the Durgar, I'll go to the next carriage.
Okay.
And just poke my head in and see what's in there.
Okay. As you poke your head in then, this one is quite a lot better lit than the one behind. It's got windows lining each wall, and you can see that it is full of effectively common folk. There's a few half-orcs and no humans that you can see. There's some goblins, a few half-orcs, some Durgar. There is what appears to be standing at the furthest part of the carriage. You know, roll a perception check, Sepsis.
Right.
Love to.
So ironic, except being told to do a perception check.
It's a 10.
Wow.
That might be a centaur.
Centaur what?
You're not quite certain, but there appears to be a centaur standing in the carriage.
A centaur or a nickel?
I'll slap him later. It's all right.
Yes, she will.
That's your husband.
Okay, I'm going to sort of close the door and go back into the room full of boxes.
Okay.
There's no humans in there. I don't know if we'd fit in.
Look, we stay here. We haven't got to keep disguise self up. And like this, I think this train journey is going to be days.
All right.
Yeah.
Stay with the body part boxes.
Just don't open the box.
Yeah,
believe
it's
me,
not
I-
that complicated. Did you notice how none of us opened a box last time? We all managed.
Sepsis, how badly do you want to slap?
I kind of don't.
Right. Well,
Go.
and I sit in the corner and look sulky.
I drop my disguise self and just try to make a comfy area to sit. I'm like setting up home base.
Now that's a shop, silly.
A home base, not home.
Make a house a home base.
Oh, God.
I hate you all.
I'm going to curl up on top of one of the necromancy boxes because it feels lovely to me.
Okay.
Isn't that really cold for someone with cold blood? I know Dice doesn't know that, but
I think they're cold in a sort of necromancy way, not cold in a temperature way. I don't know. I might be wrong.
To everyone apart from Sepsis, the carriage feels cold, feels bitterly cold, like a chill wind is blowing from the outside, even though it's not.
I pull on my winter cloak.
To Sepsis, it's a nice summer's day.
Right.
there is things wrong with that creature. All right.
No, creature is my familiar.
You're funny.
I miss Worm.
We sit there for a few days. I miss Worm too.
I guess
Yeah,
we're just
I think
gonna
we
chill
all
out on this
just
train now.
yeah, we just settle down to chill on the train.
And as you settle down to chill on your train, it takes you further east faster than you could have possibly done of your own, under your own power, and stretching far towards what's possibly your end goal. You rest and await your destination.
Yep.
And unfortunately, even though like 30 odd people have just raided us, I think we're going to have to leave it there. Is this 11 o'clock?
That is the end of the stream.
It is late, my dudes.
Yes, 11 p.m. over here in the UK, not knowing obviously where everyone else is.
I know,
come
I'm
from.
so sorry.
Yeah.
Do we have to go later? Is that what we're going to have to start doing? No.
No.
Alrighty, Rich, I start work at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. I can't go later.
I know, I start working.
I know, but I have a YouTube channel that you can go back and watch everything we've done previously.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, sorry. Yeah, thank you so much for the raid. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Anything?
I think Greg had a bit of a fanboy moment as well when he saw who did the raid.
Yeah, I did. The animated spellbook is a baller, and I watch
Yeah.
every single video that comes out within minutes of it being posted.
I think we've all watched them at some point.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've spammed almost all of them
You
into
do.
the group
You
chat.
send them into the group chat. So.
But yeah, thanks so much for the raid. Thank you very much for bringing all the viewers over. What were you going to say, sorry?
I was just going to say we might be able to raid you on to somewhere else as well, possibly if Ada wants to.
That would be down to
We should
down to
absolutely
the
raid somewhere
inimitable
else.
Adrian.
However, before we do that, what we're going to do is basically say goodbye. So yeah, that was episode 30. I'll think of a name afterwards for the episode. But thank you very much for watching along. If you want to catch up with the rest of the story, please click on the link that is just a few messages up in the chat, or just go to YouTube and type in Dice of the Beholder, and the other 29 episodes will be up on there, or are up on there already. Episode 30 will be up at the end of the week.
You can find out what's in the gross necromancy
You can
boxes.
find out what was in the other gross necromancy boxes that they've
You
come
can
across
find out
previously.
why we're terrified and won't let Dice open boxes.
I was just going to say, other things on this channel that are worth coming back to in the future. They also have other streams for Carbon. AD, can you put it in the chat, the other streams that you do? Because I can't.
All I can remember is Pathfinder is on Saturdays.
Pathfinder, I've got Carbon something, Carbon 21 something.
2185.
Vampire.
Vampire the Masquerade. Pathfinder and D&D.
And D&D. Yeah, those are all of them, I think. Yeah, there we go.
That is all of them. So
There's different things on different nights.
4 nights out of 7. We'll get some more. And yeah.
5
but yeah,
out of 7.
5 out of 7. Jesus, yeah, it is 5 out of 7. There's two D&D streams.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yes.
And we're here Sundays from 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. British time.
Yes, British time. But yeah, thank you for coming along. Thank you for sticking it out with us, those who have from the beginning. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Stu. Thank you, AD, for inviting us to the channel. It's a fun
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Shane, for popping in on his lunch break.
Yeah. But once again, it is too late for us, so thank you very much.
It's bedtime.
Catch you next week.
Night, night. Thank you,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
All right, thank you. Bye.